let's start by introducing everyone.
You forgot to hit record, didn't you?
Shut up! Shut up!
Zannder Darks, one of the players from Bubbernaut's Shackled City game, and a new player to Warhammer 40k.
Woo!
Welcome, Zannder.
Welcome. Now you may never leave. Spoot!
Yo, I'm Spootnik. I am playing Cortez Newball. And I'm Spooty McTooty in the chat. So, yeah. That's about it. I've never played this game before. So be prepared to see me play a role-playing game even shittier than I usually do.
Oh, God.
That's why I asked you. And
Perfect.
Bubba.
Hi, my camera is not... Oh, there it goes. It's focusing now. I'm Bub, also known as Bubbernaut, and I'm here playing Private Charleston Miles, but you can call him Charlie for short. Doesn't really know why he's here other than to serve the true commander and God King, but he really only serves those that serve him and his body, of course.
And I'm Sheepdog. I'm GMing this. We have currently had two squads previously. They have all managed to survive, save for one replacement character who got immediately killed by a giant orc knob. There's no other way I can say that. Just for context for you guys, the officers, the more powerful orcs in the orc army are called knobs. You know, like knobby, posh people, I guess, but yeah. So, this time we are going to be going to a squad of Imperial Guard of the Regiment, the Breath of the Emperor. The Breath of the Emperor are from a drug world, which is a world I custom created for the regiment, which has never been a thing before, as far as I know, in 40k. Everything on the world is infused with drugs. The air, the food, the water. From the second they are born to the second they die, they breathe in and exist on drugs. This is because they produce a lot of the medical and recreational drugs for their sector. It was colonized by the ecclesiarchy. They got special permission for it. The ecclesiarchy is the religious kind of arm of the Imperium. And later on they got recruited as an Imperial Guard regiment. Their regimental commander is Felicitas Kafelnikov. I always want to call her Kalashnikov. I'm terrible at names. And I named her. Who is... she got to her position by basically being immune to drugs, extremely scary, and very, very alluring. The troops in her regiment worship her, partly because she does actually produce and exude drugs herself. And it's been known for people to follow her around and go through withdrawals after she's left.
So just to be clear, we recognize this as just air. It's a necessity for our survival, but other people to our planet see it as an extreme narcotic.
If people come to visit your planet and they don't have respirators or protective gear, they will die of an overdose.
So we're not exactly we're not here to act like we're intoxicated or under any form of imbibed chemical. We're just acting normal. You can
increase your dose of air. Basically, if you've seen the art, all of the art for the regiment has a trooper with a gas canister on his chest.
Right.
That's liquidized air, basically. If you don't have it, you will slowly go into withdrawal and die. Because the planet has been inhabited for so long, and because you're born there and you're raised there, your people as a planet have evolved to it's just natural and normal to have like these narcotics pumping through your system. Yeah. We are on the 3rd invasion as per the commander's invasion plans. There were 2 other invasions at different points. The 3rd one was Breath of the Emperor are going to land, are going to carve out probably an extremely bloody landing zone and kind of staging area to carry on the invasion. And your commander volunteered you for it, so yeah, it could be this one could be an interesting one, because this regiment is primarily a close combat regiment, and orcs are very good at close combat and quite strong, so gonna see how this goes.
Are we strong? Since we've been living in this like narcotics-induced semi-bane existence, are we regarded as strong, or what is our favorable trait?
You as a regiment are renowned for being good with your melee weapons, which honestly other regiments tend to make fun of you for, because Imperial Guard regiments don't tend to be melee based. They like their guns, they like their tanks, they like to be far away from the enemy. Artillery's great, because it means, you sit back and just lob bombs at people for a while. You do also have a special weapon, which is called the Last Breath. You will see it in your character sheets. What this is this is a tiny little pistol tucked into your armor, just by your chest. If you draw it and fire it, it's extremely short range, but it is enough to basically kill a group of orcs in front of you. They have to be very close. What it does, however, do is it completely depletes your tank of air.
Oh damn!
So it uses this tank of narcotics, weaponizes it and shoots it out of your gun. It will most likely kill a kind of cone of orcs in front of you, but at the same time you will have to go and refill your tank, otherwise you'll start going into withdrawal. Okay. So, I think we'll start off on the Breath of the Emperor regimental ship. It's a large troop transport carrier, has thousands and thousands of soldiers from your regiment. Your commander's on here probably somewhere. You do occasionally see her. She likes to walk the halls and have people, shout at her and praise her and etc. There is... Actually, on the ship, you are not required to wear your mask, because they actually permeate the entire ship with the gas of your homeworld, with the air of your homeworld. So it's once you get going, you'll have to strap on that air tank and your gas mask and everything. But for now, you can relax and be comfortable. All of your characters are in a squad together. You probably have an NCO, maybe even an officer somewhere, but the Breath of the Emperor is a fairly relaxed regiment when it's not at war. I would say Thaddeus and Charleston, you're probably veterans of a couple of insurrections on other planets. You've gone down, had a couple of battles. I'd say Cortez, up to you, but seeing as you're new...
Yeah, I would imagine that instead of being, relaxed and, feet kicked up, I'm literally in, full boot camp mode with, weapons ready to go, standing at the dropship door or something. And the other guys look at me like, what a fucking twat,
Yeah, you probably already got your canister and your mask, and maybe you're maybe you've got it on already. You're twiddling with it a little bit just to increase the intake,
Yeah.
You guys have probably got. I'm gonna say that your because the invasion's coming, it has ramped up a little bit to where you're starting to have to get prepared. So most likely you have Cortez by the door in full dress kit, ready to go. You probably have Thaddeus most likely in a corner somewhere, fiddling with some like charge pack. And Charleston, I'm going to take a stab at this and say Charleston is reclining on the bunk with like a wet towel on his crotch, just glistening.
Probably not far off the mark.
Yeah.
So we've got Cortez at the door, and what are we seeing out of Thaddeus again?
He's having a little tinker with a deck pack, basically like C4, in the corner.
Okay. It's a very similar situation, but if I notice that he's tinkering with something that's high explosives, I will probably meander in his path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we open floor?
Open floor.
Sure.
If you'd like to describe your characters past the terrible description I gave of them, feel free. And yeah, I will alert you when the invasion is starting.
Okay. If I see him tinkering with an explosive, I will find myself in quick movement over to his bed and/or bunk side. Charleston Miles is a male, 32 years old. He's rather portly. He's not very tall, probably 5'6", 5'7", pale, with wispy blonde hair that seems to be neatly parted, like a side part across. Has some natural curl to it, with some turns in the beard similarly so. He seems to be much in control of that. It's, to some degree, it's control to him, so he's trying to hold on to it. Because war is ugly and brutal, and he doesn't know how long he's going to have this perfect specimen of a body of his. So he would likely see Thaddeus, this beautifully dark man, manipulating some kind of explosive device, and he would likely move over to bedside and lean in, potentially propping his leg up on the end of the bedside and like lean into that knee. Still only in towel, so you're mostly right.
Mm-hmm.
To describe Thaddeus, dark-skinned man, rather heavy set. You can see that due to his work, he has rather extruding veins from parts of his neck. The eyes completely white due to some experiments that he did with his eyes.
Oh, maybe even like bionic. So it's just like a mess of metal, and there's like, you know, one little like red dot right there where it like moves around, as like mechanically moves around as you're like tinkering with this.
And it's you can always see like the laser point to it, so like it kind of widens and shrinks based off where you're trying to look.
Yeah.
Pretty toned in the arms, but like the chest and stomach is a little more rounded. As he starts tinkering, you hear him counting. He's 3, 2, 1, and he pulls the pin back. Got it down to 3 seconds that time, and he resets it, and then you see him put the essentially the detonator back onto the charge that he has. Gotta fix that one. And he looks over to Charles. Charlie, what's going on? What's going on?
Quite a specimen you have there. What kind of boom is at the end of that one?
This one right here. Been working on it for a while. Looks like I can not only get it to create a little bit of fire, but leaving a bit of a lasting effect.
Oh. Do tell. Slow down this time.
Rather simple. Taking some of the stem from our air, I've actually been able to accelerate the ignition process, making a bigger boom and causing the little kids to get a little sick.
Well, you had me until you brought in little kids. That's not exactly my bag, of course.
Oh, you know I only mention the grains as little kids, seeing as their intelligence ain't what ours is.
Thaddeus, a note for the future, and roll me a tech use plus 10. So for those of you who don't know how the system works and the character sheet works, If you look down your skills, you'll see tech use. If you click on the button, it'll then say input value modifier. Put in a 10, hit submit.
For which part am I doing this?
Tech use.
Tech use.
Go down your skills. It's at the very bottom.
Yeah.
You should be able to just hover click tech use, and it will bring up something on top of your on top of Roll20 itself.
Teacher's pet over here already has it down pat.
Just been using a lot of character sheets that have been doing this on Roll20.
And you said modifier 10 and submit?
Yeah. Damn. Okay. That is a 14. Nice roll. So, again, for people who don't know the system, when you roll your skills, you have it goes by characteristic, your skill level in the skills, which is what the ticks are, and then you have to roll below that on a D100. So, for example, your intelligence is 31, Thaddeus. You have 2 ticks in tech use, which gives you a plus 10 already, and then plus 10 on top of that means you have a 51 or lower. So yeah, Thaddeus, in the future, if you would like to set a charge pack to explode, you may siphon off a little bit of your air from your tank and increase the damage by 1d10. It will, however, as you know, reduce your air, so you have to be careful with it depending on your situation.
No problem at all. Knowing that, can I take a second canister of air for myself?
You can. There are enough of them around.
Yeah, it would be like a medium size to have like on the satchel, probably for like 1, maybe 2 uses of.
I'll tell you what. You can go and talk to the quartermaster and ask for like a smaller little canister of air. It'll give you a couple of uses on the deck packs. But
even one that's only like down to half use.
Yeah.
Just so I have a charge of it.
Yeah. It's basically just it won't slow you down as much as like a proper breathing tank will.
Awesome.
So yeah, Charleston, your advances are spurned, unfortunately, because Thaddeus has an idea. Thaddeus,
every time.
Thaddeus stands up, doesn't even notice this striking man in his towel, and heads off towards the quartermaster to ask for a little extra air, basically, for one of his experiments. The quartermaster knows you. You have come here a few times with ideas, and sometimes they work, sometimes they explode. It's kind of 50-50. So the quartermaster is going to be, Thaddeus, welcome. What can I do for you today?
I was wondering if you can do me a favor and give me one of them smaller canisters of air. I've been wanting to send our greens a bit of a gift when we get onto the field.
Interesting. Well, we are invading, so air is a little bit, dear at the moment. But, you know what? Sometimes your ideas pay off. Tell you what, if this works, give me the details so I can pass it around to the other lads.
Of course.
Brilliant.
And he'll go and grab a small tank of air.
Let's say
that's my gear, correct?
Yeah. Let's say 2 charges, basically. Back in the bunk where you guys are holed up, I would say probably you notice like a very slight change in the air. It's still the air from home, but there's something else like mixed in with it, and this is something that's being disseminated throughout all the ship. I think probably I'll just have you guys roll an awareness here.
Awareness.
Yeah.
Any modifiers?
Take a plus 20 because this is kind of everyone's area of expertise. It is your own air. But weirdly enough, awareness seemed to fit the best because there's no drug tasting skill in the game. Oof, what's that? That's a 88, damn. Cortez, probably because you've only got off world recently, you notice the change a lot easier, and you can kind of put it in. There's a stimulant mixed into the air, basically something to keep you up, keep you peppy, get you raring, and this will slowly become apparent to all of you. I'm sure Cortez will mention it anyway, but this is a clear signal that the invasion is getting prepped, and you're going to be heading in soon to war.
Yeah, I guess real quick, I'll just say Cortez, he's young. How young can I be? I know I said 20, but can I be younger?
You can be 16 if you like.
16 was what I was thinking. Okay. So Cortez is 16. He's quite spry. He is completely bald. In fact, he has alopecia, which means he has no hair on his body whatsoever. Completely slick. And it seems that puberty's hitting him a little bit late, but that's okay. Not a big deal. And he is nervous. His sort of demeanor is sort of a nervous excitement. Almost to the point of like anxiety sufferer, but not that extreme, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'll definitely, I start to notice the stimulation occur, and I'm all geared up, ready to go, and I kind of turn around and say, guys, I think we're ready to go. The doors might be opening soon.
Hearing that, Thaddeus will give Cortez a nod.
Thanks for the heads up.
And then he'll start heading over to his area of the barracks, and he'll start putting on his mask and his tank.
Should I put my safety vest on?
Whatever helps you kill.
It's got bright reflective colors.
The brighter the better. Anything that will help you stand out. That would be ideal. I'll move over and start dutying up my booty spanks and start getting ready for this combat as we see it.
Why isn't anybody else wearing their reflective vests?
I've got something bright for you. Got a quick spark to it if you want to really shine.
And he holds out a grenade to him.
I'll just take the vest off.
They would see that. We don't want to let them know that we're there unless there's going to be that kind of boom right there. Thaddeus is known for that. You don't send a homing beacon. We need no blinkers.
That's good advice. I'll just take it off.
Good. Slowly.
It is like this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thaddeus, it's a good day. Very good day.
Indeed, but save some of that hostility and forward play for our enemy.
Our work and no play makes Charlie a dull boy. Go along then. I'll immediately don the rest of my gear.
Yeah, you'll strap into your armor and your battle uniform. You strap your. It doesn't really matter where you strap, mechanically, where you strap your kind of air tank, as it were. So you can have it on your back, your front, like wherever you'd like, really. It changes for all the different for the individual trooper, like where they prefer it. Most troopers, I'd say, prefer it on their back, just purely because your lifeline being on your chest is bound to get shot. Or if you trip over and fall flat on your face, you might crush it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, is there any more business before you would like to invade an orc planet and possibly die to glorious melee?
No. You good?
I don't think so.
Cortez runs to the bathroom real quick and then comes back.
Okay, sure. Roll me athletics.
Oh. Okay. Roll to urinate. What's the modifier?
Just standard.
What's the standard modifier?
Just don't put anything
Just
in. Just
zero.
click OK.
Oh, 0. Okay, gotcha.
Damn it!
I
was
peed
hoping.
so good.
I was hoping to do this as you were peeing. The alarm goes off. It's time for the invasion.
Ah!
I was so hoping to catch you while you
You're
were peeing.
foiled again.
The dreaded fear piss. Oh,
Yeah. Oh god, no! Like running down the hallway. Just as Cortez gets back, the alarm goes off. This is the alarm you've been drilling with. You realise that it's time to head down the corridors to get your gear, your weapons, and to board the shuttles, the landing craft, which will take you down to the planet. You have a basic idea of the battle strategy. The battle strategy is, once those doors open, you charge and kill anything that is not human.
Okay, noted.
Knowing that, I'm actually going to use that canister with the double dose, and I will strap it to both crack grenades in my inventory, like using a duct tape, and then essentially using a wire to act as a new detonator. I would put both of those grenades together with the can of air.
Like strap them around the air.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sides. So yeah, tape them to the sides or use an adhesive that I would have inside the barracks, and then the detonator switch that I was fiddling with, I would attach that to the to one of the grenades.
Okay. And you do indeed all have crack grenades. Let me guys give you a heads up on what the crack grenades did. I thought you only had frag grenades. The crack grenades are anti-bunker, anti-single target. They're very especially good against armor and bunkers and tanks, or like an individual target if you really want to take out an individual target. The frag grenades have like a blast radius; they hit more targets and that kind of thing. So, just so you know, for when you
knowing that, then I'll use 2 frag grenades.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 crack grenades. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. In the hallways, you hear marching boots, running boots, some NCOs shouting orders. It is hectic, and it is not exactly how it was practiced, but your regiment is not the most regimented. It is not the most disciplined. You've been in war before, however, so you know the measure of the average troop in your regiment, and they're fairly solid, so... Probably about 2 minutes go as you're getting the final clasps on your tank, and it's like snapping the final parts of your armor on. And your sergeant comes in. Let's give him a name, because he'll probably die. Oh, absolutely. Okay, there we go. His name is Redemptor Maxim, Sergeant Maxim. Gentlemen,
As he walks in, give him a salute.
You hear the call. It's time to serve the Emperor. It's time to serve the Commander. It's time to kill again. Cortez, I hope you're ready.
I'm always ready.
Good. Move along. Let's get going. I'll see you in the ship. Salutes again. Moves out.
Righto.
Thaddeus will look up to Cortez and Charlie.
The stem's flowing strong in the air today, boys. Let's not disappoint.
And he'll get his shotgun and start walking.
Okay.
My body is ready.
Cortez will grab a frag grenade in each hand.
Okay. I assume you slung the shotgun back.
Yeah.
I'll have everything shouldered. this may be my last day, so in tradition on the way out, I'll make sure to delicately hold on to my own groin.
Okay. You grab it tenderly.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
Ooh, tender.
You all know the way to the staging area. When you get there, it's a little bit of a mess. Again, not the most disciplined regiment, but they're getting sorted out into their squads. They're moving towards these kind of drop ships, which the drop ships open from the rear. Charleston, you may be happy to know that you enter through the rear.
Yes.
I'm sorry it started. I can't stop it.
Behind enemy lines. Let's go.
And yeah, you will have a couple of minutes before your squad is ready to go, and probably have about 30 minutes. You're going down in the third wave, so there are 2 waves before you. They're going to secure the most basic of beachheads, and then you're being sent in basically to start charging the lines. You haven't been intricately debriefed. You quite often aren't. The general tactic is usually charge and figure things out as you go. You have heard that there will be some trenches, some heavy gun emplacements. So if the first couple of waves fail to breach the trenches, you may have a rough fight ahead of you. If you would like to discuss tactics or just talk about, what soldiers talk about before they go into battle, your wave will be coming up shortly.
Yeah. Seeing as we're all boarding the ship and getting ready, Thaddeus will look to the people that we have in.
Any newcomers here? Go on and raise your hand.
I'm sorry. Oh, almost choked.
Go on and raise your hands for me.
And then he'll wait to see how many people are raising their hands.
You know, it's a joke.
Any newcomers? Go ahead and step to the front of the line. Senior members to the back.
What about old comers? Well, I'm just a comer at all. I'll walk to the back.
I'll go to the front. I'm not scared.
Ooh, look at that.
And he grabs his, he'll grab onto Cortez and he'll pull him back.
You wait here with us. You stand out a little differently from the others. Now listen up. When we make landing, we've been told that there have been large guns, anti-air. We're gonna take those out first. That way we can establish a stronger beachhead if there's a 4th and 5th wave coming in. Any of you get shot and you go down, make sure you use your last breath to give us some leeway into the front lines.
I won't take my last breath today.
Good. But if you hesitate to use it, I'll make sure I'll take your last breath for you.
Sounds fair.
Don't worry about him, Private. It's okay. We'll get in there, pry that sucker apart, and go in head first.
I like it.
Me too.
Front line, don't forget. Once we make the landing, use your grenades. We'll break through immediately, and then we'll start firing upon the enemy.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good pep talk. And obviously, let's say it's probably larger than a squad. So let's say the company, it's a good 50 to 60 people, kind of cram into this dropship. The newbies, as per orders from the commander, go in the front. The more battles you survive, the longer you've been with the regiment, the further back you go. The reasoning for this, of course, is it's a baptism by fire. The regiment needs to know if you can survive the shit. So, Cortez, you're probably fairly far up the front.
Okay.
On his way out, give him a hearty slap on the ass.
For Cortez, I would have pulled him back. Yeah, Cortez is next to me.
Why did he say it?
On his way out, slap for the Emperor! And then I'll wait to join Thaddeus, since we're probably amidst the seniors.
Yeah. Cortez would have been pulled back with me. I stopped him from going to the front.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Looking over to Charleston. You nervous?
I'm actually quite aroused. Is that normal? Are you aroused?
Aroused, maybe.
Good.
It's been a while since I've been up to the front. Kind of miss being up there with the open fire.
You can go up front if you like. I'll hammer out the back end.
You always seem to want to take everything from behind, don't you?
You aren't wrong, sir. You are, you delicious chocolate man, you.
He puts his fist out for like a fist bump.
I'll kiss it.
Yeah, I like behinds too. And I put my fist up, and hopefully no one bumps it.
He'll like kind of like hit him off to the side, like, yeah, we'll give him one.
The ship starts to vibrate pleasantly as its engines kick in. I say that purely only for the. I say that purely only for the information of Charleston, who I'm sure would want to know.
For the record, I probably would have had painted on my gun. It's just Peen Maximus.
Oh yeah. It's a subtle message, and only you get it.
That's right. It's a pump shotgun.
Private joke.
It's got a big blast at the end.
It's a pump. It's one of those pump ones. You have to pump it like 5 times before it shoots.
Yeah, but man,
and it
pump
shoots.
or not, it's a blast. People don't get to walk away from that one.
It gets jammed. You got to spit on it every once in a while.
Oh man. And this stream's been sponsored by KY.
For when spit doesn't work. So,
Jesus.
the ship takes off. The pleasant vibration calms down a little bit. And you are now in the void of space. You're heading down towards the planet. I would say, most likely, things get a little bit quiet. You have a fair number of new troops in your squad. I think, purely for the narrative aspect of it, last time you were in war, you lost a fair number of troops in a large explosion. No one knows what caused it. Except for maybe Thaddeus. It did, however, take out a lot of enemies, so, you know. However that happened, it was good and bad. It did mean you needed a load more of replacements, but you got your objective done, and sometimes that's the more important thing. There's a small amount of banter between the younger members of the company. You know, kind of a mix of like, oh boy, I can't wait to get down there and show Johnny Orc what's for. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna stick my chainsaw in his face and shove my shotgun up his arse. Do they have arses? I don't know.
We'll find out.
Have we fought orcs before?
No.
Okay, first time. Well, it's first time for everything. I look over to Thaddeus. Orcs do have asses, right? Do we know this?
As he's fiddling with the canister and the 2 grenades, he just kind of looks up and shrugs.
Well, I mean, they eat food, right? So they gotta poop from somewhere.
Well, they don't have to. They could just be efficient.
Word is they eat people.
Oh.
The sergeant is walking up and down the line, stops for a moment as he hears this conversation, leans in and goes, "Everybody gotta poop." Nods, and then keeps walking.
I told you.
Yeah, that's fine, I suppose. Not that I've ever had any problems with that. You know what they say, any port in a storm.
I don't know where that's said.
Sorry,
Charlie. I really don't.
Chat's demanding information of me as to whether orcs shit. I don't fucking know if orcs shit. So, let's get you on the planet, shall we?
I'm ready for it.
The ship starts to shudder as it enters the atmosphere. You can feel this like infusion of air getting more intense. It's the stimulant again, but this time stronger, and you don't need like an awareness or anything to notice it. Like, obviously, very specifically, they want you ready and good to go. So, for the beginning of this fight, for the beginning of these bits, and I'll tell you when this stops being true or applicable, you have +10 to all physical actions. As in running, dodging, etc. And this is compliments of your commander. Cheers, Metamancer.
Yay.
So, the ship clunks, shudders slightly as it lands, and the back of it starts opening up as the ramp goes. The sergeant's like, "Steady, boys," as the first few troops are looking ready to just run up this ramp and jump out, which is not a good idea. It's quite a large ramp. You hear the sounds of explosions, screaming, gunfire, las gunfire, and other more solid shot fire. Quite often the report of shotguns, and the ramp finally finishes opening. I would say, seeing as you're at the back, you can't see too much. Maybe an occasional explosion in the air. And the
I would be crouching. Like, as at the moment we land, I would be in a crouching position with my shotgun.
I'm gonna have it just over the top of him.
Yeah, just behind him, over the top of him.
It's for safety's sake.
Okay. So,
if he falls, I need to catch him.
yeah, absolutely.
Obviously.
I think the sergeant goes, "All right, boys, let's get at him." And like, he's at the front with the new recruits to lead them out. Like, raises his chain axe. Instantly, I haven't detailed the name of this chain axe. It is called the Emperor's Wrath chain axe. It is something I customed very slightly myself. It is a 1.5-hand chain axe. Typically, if you want to use the full strength of your abilities, you have to use 2 hands on it. If you do, however, need to, you can use it one-handed. It'll just give you a little minus to your attack roll.
Right.
And he holds aloft his chain axe. He smacks this button on his chest. You hear this kind of like infused air going through, and he charges. He gets about 2 foot, and a shot blasts straight through the back of his head. His brains.
Oh God!
His brains splatter the side of the ship and the ramp. Everyone else. Let's see what everyone else does, shall we?
This is Redemptor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they did quite well. Everyone else just keeps charging. They don't even look down, notice their sergeant. They're in battle now, and they're going to charge until there are no more enemies to hit. Thaddeus and Charleston, I do not require you to make a willpower roll. Cortez, you are new. I require you to make a willpower roll. Considering the infusion of drugs, take a +20 to this.
Okay. What did I do? There we go. 29.
You're good. You're looking forward to the battle. You're raring.
I'm ready to go.
So the company starts moving out from the front. The newest head out, start moving out. soon enough, a place clears for you. Like probably the matter of 10 seconds.
Seeing as some of them might be getting mowed down, I'll look back over to Charlie and New Ball.
Let's go, boys. Party starts now.
And then he'll run out, and he'll keep the shotgun in one hand, but he'll take the canteen with the 2 grenades, and he'll have it ready. And then you see him click something, and then just as he gets out, he's gonna chuck it into the first group of orcs that he sees.
Okay. You both following him?
Yeah, I already had 2 grenades out ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, probably going to follow. This is likely when Charlie would feel most alive. All hedonism aside, this is an opportunity to excel.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, he's hedonistic, but he's still a warrior, so it's like, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, you run down the ramp. You get down to the bottom of it. There are bullets whizzing, flying around you. There are a few explosions. You can see in front of you, probably about 100 foot in front of you, there is a line of trenches, which are currently, there is just a big melee of your regiment versus these like big muscular green orcs. You see like one of your fellow troopers kind of bring his axe down just into this orc's chest, like revs up his chain axe, the teeth start whirling around, he just brings it all the way down, like I want to say bifurcates, but I can't remember how that word goes, but separates the orc in two at the chest, down kind of vertically, and just falls apart. You see another trooper just get riddled with bullets and go down as 2 orcs just keep shooting him as he like falls onto the ground. It is insane. What I will tell you from here is you have a line of trenches, and then probably like a network of trenches going back maybe like 400 feet with just trenches every kind of 100 feet or so. They are connected, and you have lost your sergeant, your NCO, your lieutenant, and your kind of superiors above that. They're around here somewhere, but you don't have much interaction with them. So effectively it is, you are free to do what you like at this point. It's charge, kill, crush, destroy.
A quick question before we charge in. Do we care if our own like squad members, not us 3, but like the no names, like if there's, you know, a bunch of orcs and no names fighting and I chuck a grenade in there, is that something that we would do? Like, do we care about that? We try to minimize the death of our own squad, or is it really like at all costs kill everything?
I would say, especially for your regiment, if things look dire for the squad, like if they're clearly about to get killed, you'd probably throw a grenade. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe charge a deck pack and bring down a building with like 100 orcs in it and a couple of troopers. Not saying that Thaddeus has ever done that or anything, but
So basically like a kind of a last resort type thing. It wouldn't be something that we would just do.
I'll leave it up to you individually as characters. I would say the general sense on the regiment is you don't kill your own men, you know, your fellow soldiers, just willy-nilly. If it's a worthwhile sacrifice, everyone will be like, yeah, no, you did the right thing.
Sure. Okay.
As a new trooper, I don't know where you fall on that, like, you know.
I'm sure mistakes will be made.
They always are.
We
Okay.
get separated from the rest of our platoon.
No, you're kind of, you're a little bit behind them. They've lost probably 10 men so far. Like, some are injured, like, yeah, some are injured, like holding bullet wounds. Some are straight up just dead. They're still charging towards the trenches.
Do we see any methods of getting around for like a pinch point, or do we have a method of getting behind enemy lines? Anything like that?
For this one, no. It's just a straight up long trench network. You know, if you look down your left and down your right, you'll see multiple ships, dropships landing, disgorging troops all along this line. Behind you, probably about 800 feet, maybe a bit further even, is the beginning of a coast and the sea. You're basically landing somewhere where you can only run forward, which means you can't be attacked from behind.
Are there any fortresses or anti-air guns that we see running in this direction?
Yeah, behind the long set of trenches, there's probably like bunkers, kind of custom built. It's like scrap metal, like all hammered together and things like that with like gun emplacements. But that's, you know, a fair ways
Further ahead.
Fair ways ahead. For now, it's just.
So the range on the frag grenade says Sierra Bravo X-ray 3. What does that mean?
Strength bonus times 3.
Ah.
So your strength bonus is your 10 digit on your strength. So if you have 41, it's 4. If you have 51, it's 5.
Okay, so I have 39. So 39, or I mean, 3 times 3 is
9. Yeah, so 9
So
meters.
that means 9 meters?
Yeah.
Okay. And the trench is how far ahead of us?
The trench is... Oh god, I've got to do like feet and meters.
No, you need meters, it's fine.
Yeah, meters okay.
Yeah. It's probably about... At this point, you're at the back of your company. Company's probably about halfway, so it's maybe like 30, 40 meters away for you guys. They're just about to get to the trenches.
So I have if I run I can go 18 meters, and then you said we get the plus 10 thing? Right?
Plus 10 is to your athletics. If you
Right.
if you'd like to be like just absolute balling it, charging into the trench, then that would be an athletics roll.
Well, I wanna run as quickly as I can to get in range to chuck these grenades down into the trench where it looks like there are orcs fighting from.
Incidentally, guys, something I didn't put in your character sheets, feel free to do this now. You should have a tick in athletics. I apologize, I didn't do that. So feel free to put a tick in athletics. So yeah, if you want to charge forward, then yes, you can roll in athletics, get there a little bit quicker, and then throw your grenades.
Okay.
When we were assigning the ticks in our skills,
Yeah.
if athletics was one that we wanted to put focus in, would that be a secondary tick, or
Yeah,
how does
you
that
can
work?
you can totally put a secondary tick in
Okay.
that, yeah.
All right.
And don't forget plus 10, guys, if you're rolling athletics, because it's
Okay,
STEM.
so I roll plus 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Athletics.
Yep.
All right.
It's probably because you had that P before you came. You know. It
I'm
really,
lighter.
Yeah. You don't slosh when you walk. It's great.
Yeah. So then which button do I click here to throw the grenades?
So the grenade, throwing
how
the grenade itself will be a ballistic skill.
Okay. And so there's no like initiative order or anything. It's just kind of fucking.
This is army against army. It's a big fight. I'm not gonna have you guys roll initiative. I tend to play it fairly streamlined for this. Maybe in future games and everything, you may end up like small squad against small squad, and I may go into the intricacies. But yeah, it keeps the narrative smooth to kind of keep it fairly.
Okay, so the ballistics roll is just no modifier.
Yeah.
Wait.
I would follow up behind New Ball.
Okay.
If he's heading to the trenches, I would go with him.
Would you
I'm
like
trying to
to?
stay to the furthest behind. All jokes aside, it's likely how Charlie would have stayed alive is making sure that someone was there to at least soak bullets.
Yeah. A little bit more cautious, a little bit more. There are people, and in fact your commander's one of them in the regiment, who are a little bit more strategic, a little bit more sneaky, and yeah, you've heard some rumors about a special detachment of the regiment. Not
I've
so
heard about
much.
things that are detachable with the regiment.
Yeah.
He's sneaky. There's rumors about him. Charlie knows.
I know. Thaddeus, would you like to keep up with Cortez, or are you taking it a little bit easier, hanging back a little bit more?
I would be just a little bit behind him. So
Okay.
right as he makes his first initial attack inside to the trench, I would follow up immediately after with the canister with the grenades. But I would chuck it further forward so that way we have a line to breach through for the first trench.
Okay. Cortez,
Yes.
your company is a little bit ahead of you. Some of them have been jumping into the trench, like, straight ahead of you. The trench is within grenade throwing distance. Would you like to aim for somewhere where there are more orcs, but also more of your own troops? Or would you like to aim for somewhere where there are less orcs, but you're less likely to kill your own troops?
Let's start with less likely to kill our own troops.
Okay. Roll me a d8.
Okay. Eight.
Okay. Okay.
Just a face.
I know. I don't know whether to be afraid or excited.
It's the face of wasn't expecting that. So technically speaking, with the grenade, when you throw it, it scatters. I have it go off in 7 directions, or if you're lucky enough to roll an 8, it goes exactly where you throw it. So there you go. So even if you fail your ballistic skill with a grenade, it can still go where you're aiming it, basically.
Nice.
Because it's still a scatter. You failed your throw. It went somewhere you didn't intend it. It's just in this instance is where you were aiming because you failed. It makes sense to me in my head. So roll me damage on your frag grenade.
Okay. I've only thrown. Did I throw both or no? Or yeah. Did I throw both?
You threw one.
Yeah, just one, right? Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is. Damage. 13.
Okay. Your dodge is 1 tick, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your agility?
It is 33.
Okay, that's close enough. Roll me 3 dodge rolls, please. No modifiers.
Okay.
It's a failure.
1. 2.
That's a
Wait.
big failure.
Oof.
So, your grenade killed some orcs.
Yay.
Unfortunately, there are also 3 of your company in the blast range, and you rolled a crit success on that damage. So, as karmic punishment, tell me how your fellow troopers die at your own hands.
Well, yeah, so I go to chuck this grenade. I think what I see is maybe like, orc weapons rising up, and as I'm throwing it, the members of our regiments kind of come into view.
Mm.
Kind of, the speed of the film slows down.
Mm.
The grenade's going in, and I kind of turn around and see Thaddeus, and I go, yeah.
Yeah.
And they just get blown to bits.
They just vaporize into... But good news, you've cleared out a section of the trench for you all to jump in if you like.
So then I go,
As you do that, like, just behind you, a leg just lands, like, behind you.
I pick it up to use as a weapon. No, I'm just kidding.
Thaddeus, how do you
yes.
feel about this?
He's getting the job done.
Sure.
Seeing as he took a spot with less orcs and less of our guys, I'm gonna hit the most concentrated spot with the 2 grenades and the canister. I'm just gonna chuck it as far as I can into them.
Okay. I don't know how much damage this does. Do you? I
Each
believe
grenade deals 2d10, and then I'm not sure how much you want to add with the canister.
if you're doing the canister, let's say that's 2 more d10, so that would be 40,
A lot.
4d10 and 4d10.
8d10, yeah.
So 8d10, I guess.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The moment when it gets 8. Just 8.
Yeah. Oh,
Lowest roll possible, yeah.
this is for Breeze, not Aura.
I'm all wrong can. I'll be back. No, so I need to do a ballistics, correct?
Yeah, I'll say -10 to the ballistics as well, because it's a bit more cumbersome than a regular grenade.
No problem at all.
We'll be able to Frankenstein so many bodies back together.
So wait, would it be zeroed out because I still have the added 10 from what I...
Yeah, you do also have the added 10, so it'll be 0. Perfect. This horrific contraption that you built on the ship just sails beautifully. I think you threw it like a football. You know, like I'm gonna say American football because I'm English, but you throw it like an American football, and it's got the spin on it and everything. You just see it.
Perfect spiral.
You see it spiral perfectly, and there's just this one orc who notices you and like raises his gun to shoot at you, and then looks up a little bit further, and this contraption just comes down and like ponks on like just right in the center of his forehead, and then falls to the ground and explodes in explosion of just pure vapor.
As that's happening, you see him throw it, and as he throws it, you I would say, yeah, Miles and Newball would hear me go do the same thing I was doing in the ship. I'm like 3, 2, 1, and then
Roll me a tech use.
+10, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. If you'd have failed, it would have been 3, 2, boom. Never would be done. But yeah, no, you throw it, and as it's like sailing, you say 3, and then as the orc points his gun at you, you're just looking at him like calmly. You go 2, and then it hits him in the forehead, falls to the ground. As it hits the ground, you say 1, and it just. Roll me damage. Let's see what the hell happens here. Yeah.
I hope it's just a dud.
He's on your team, Bob. Oh,
Damn!
fuck me.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
That is good. That's 3 10s. Okay. Roll me a d10. Sorry. Roll me 2d10. I'm not gonna make you roll 15 times for the guardsman. Roll me a dodge.
All of us?
Yeah, all 3 of you roll me a dodge, and I'll just kind of
boy.
figure out how many. Okay.
Oh boy.
Cortez, you saved some troopers right there, sir.
Finally.
That's without our modifier, right?
Yeah.
Without our +10. Okay.
That's not exceptional.
I'd say three of those 15 troops get out of it. The rest are incinerated, and because the explosion was feeding off the gas canisters, it actually goes a little bit bigger because it shatters the gas canisters, the air canisters, and then consumes the gas that was in it, or the liquid. So it's actually a lot bigger than you intended, and kills more orcs. It also probably kills a few more guardsmen than you intended either. But you have cleared out this kind of like T section of the trench, just to the side of where Cortez threw his grenade. It's kind of goes along to the left of you, and then sections out towards the next set of trenches. Also, you're getting shot at this point pretty heavily, so you might want to get in the trench.
Yeah, once once I checked it, I would have slid in with the shotgun at the ready, getting ready to go to where we cleared.
As I slide in already, that axe thing. What is it?
Can we move through the trench where it's parallel to the explosion that was just thrown by Thaddeus, so we can try to get some kind of, I don't know, cover or anything that may be like debris still kind of falling? Or
yeah, I mean the trench is the trench is kind of cratered a little bit where this explosion happened, but like to the sides of that, you can still get cover afforded. You can keep your head down, and you won't be able to get shot. The trench does head off to the new line of trenches, like 100 feet down, but
I want to start moving forward. Let's try to rabbit our way through the few trenches, the gaps in between, keeping myself as low as possible, but moving forward.
Okay. Currently, what I'll give you is the your fellow guardsmen have not, at the moment, headed towards the new trench. They're heading like sideways to like clear out the trench of orcs.
Okay.
And you would like to... Are you wanting to go down the trench line to the next trench, or...?
Just try to move into the foray of I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of cloud of smoke or something from that explosion, and try to rabbit my way into the next trench over.
So the next trench, you can kind of go over what you'd consider like no man's land.
Yep.
Which is kind of like open, kind of flat land to the next trench, or there is like a slip trench that feeds into the next trench as well, which is where this explosion happens. So you could kind of go into there. It is about 100 feet to the next trench.
Okay. Granted, you said it's no man's land, so I don't really have much in the way of cover. There's not really... Is there any kind of cloud at all?
There is around the T section of the trenches, which is where the explosion happened.
Sure, then that's what I want to make it to.
Okay.
And if it's safer to go through the slip trench, then I'll do that. But if it comes down to just a pure time thing, then I'll push the fastest method.
Yeah, it's not going to take you too much longer to go into the side trench. So that's perfectly viable. Roll me in athletics.
Yeah.
Plus 10, of course, because you still have your stims rolling on. Cortez, Thaddeus, I'm assuming you're jumping into the trench and doing...
Yes, I was going to ask, the spot that we cleared, it was connected, right? His explosion to mine was more or less connected?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We would use that clearing.
I don't know how the ticks matter for anything at all, but I haven't rolled anything below an 85, so the system is not my fan today.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough so far. Charleston clearly is cursed with just
good looks.
Good looks, and high numbers.
I'm a beacon of sex appeal, and they know it.
That's right.
Oof. You get there. It takes you time. One thing you are thinking as you kind of stub your toe for the third time on like this like protruding blob of metal is like, I'm glad I didn't go over the trench and into no man's land, because I probably would have got shot. But you have your head down, so it just takes you more time. So yeah, Thaddeus and Cortez, how are you proceeding here?
So when I ready my chain axe, I still have the other grenade in my other hand. So I'm one-handing that. Still have the other grenade just in case it needs to be thrown to clear something else out.
I would be just behind New Ball with the shotgun at the ready. So if anyone tries to drop down on him or in between us or anything like that, I can give him cover and fire.
Okay. And are you also following Charleston, kind of going up
Correct,
this
yeah.
side?
Yeah,
we're like parallel with him.
Yeah. Okay. You see further down in the next trench, there's a smaller number, probably the earlier waves maybe, who just like penetrated the lines and just kept going, who are kind of engaged in, I'd say, fairly one-sided melee at this point, because, you know, the orcs can keep sending in reinforcements from their back lines, whereas, you know, your guys have to have the waves. So you probably got like 1 guardsman to every 3 orcs or whatever, and it's slowly, like, the numbers are turning, so.
I'll pull New Ball back to kind of hide a little bit.
What's wrong?
Let's give it a second. I want to see if one of our men falls.
And then I'm going to wait for one of our guys to be mortally wounded. And when that happens, I'm going to run up and I'm going to use his last breath to clear out the front wave.
Well,
if it's possible.
Yeah, there's no one from your from your wave like heading up that way yet. They're still clearing out the trench that you guys have just jumped into. So like further to the left, further to the right, they're kind of and seeing as there's a giant explosion here with a fair number of people from your company getting incinerated, there's no one like in this little section of the trench and slip trench.
Okay, no problem at all. I get what you're saying.
So like if you wanted to use the last breath of someone who falls, like there are bodies like down this slip trench and a few in no man's land. Don't forget though, the last breath is really close range. So if an orc kills one of your troops, you can totally go and use his last breath. But you would have to run right up to an orc and be like, "Hey, 1 second."
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It would be dangerous, but the payoff would be great. So, you know.
Okay, so I'll wait on that then, and then we'll see if we can just keep heading towards the T-shaped opening to see if we can kind of get towards one of the barracks and stuff. Just trying to keep parallel with Miles the whole time.
Yeah.
Do we see further anything that kind of looks like our goal, at least a target that's more than these trenches?
Yeah, there's some kind of makeshift structures at the back. I wouldn't say it's a fort, but that's the closest I can give you to what it is. It's kind of some circled buildings, completely made out of metal. It's got a few guns like vaguely firing over in the direction. Their range isn't amazing, so at this distance, they're not really a threat to you, except for a stray, random stray bullet. So that would be a good objective. Unfortunately, this regiment is very crazy, and as you may have guessed, like, they do just charge in and start hacking each other apart, you know, so... you don't have a specific end goal. It's pretty much push as far as you can, kill as many as possible, and don't die.
Okay. All right, then. Fuck, I don't know. I guess we just keep pushing. Just inch by inch.
Okay. So if I've got this correct, Thaddeus and Cortez, you're heading down one slipway to the new trench, to the next set of trenches, and Charleston, you're heading down another way.
Yeah.
There's probably in the next few minutes going to be some troops starting to push, because you hear like the kind of jet engine roar of the next wave coming in. You know, the ships are starting to land behind you. There's going to be new troops coming in. And they're not going to have as many orcs to deal with in the trenches of the first set, so they're going to come to the new, and head over that way. So, would you like to charge into Glorious Melee in the second trench, or would you kind of like to head up a bit more cautiously, avoid the risk of getting shot or noticed, and kind of survey the area, as it were?
I'm going to go the latter route.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
You said there are bodies though with air canisters still like littering the floor, right?
Yeah.
Can I pinch one off and use a primer cord to input into one of the the tubes?
I will say, roll me a scrutiny. Just purely because a lot of them have been shattered. Not just because of the explosion, even. Some of them have been shot or hacked up. You think you could probably, like, if you hung back for a while, you could maybe find one that's intact. There's a lot of bodies, but
I mean, urgency wouldn't really allow that, though.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so since we just kind of entered the fresh explosion area, I'll keep moving with the new ball, but with caution.
Okay.
What do the orcs' weapons look like?
They're kind of they're also fairly makeshift in how they look. They look similar to like the standard bolter guns or the standard kind of like pistols and etc. Bit chunkier, bit heavier. The axes again are fairly crude. Think like the weapons in like of the like the orcs and goblins in Lord of the Rings, like very kind of like crude and
Sure.
vicious and dirty, but effective.
Mundane but effective.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I just have to check something because I believe you have. Okay. So yeah. As you kind of creep up, I'd say you guys probably like collectively a good 20 foot or so from the from the opening of the T section which leads into the next trench. You've managed to get up here because the orcs are still engaged in combat. The ones that aren't directly fighting other Imperial Guards in melee are kind of shooting at the other trench and trying to keep heads down, etc. It seems like the first couple of waves have petered out slightly. Just purely because the orcs can keep bringing up their numbers from here, and it takes time for the waves to come down for the for your guys. So, roll me a. If anyone would like to have an idea for this, I'm just gonna say roll me a straight intelligence here.
No modifiers?
No.
I'm
It's okay.
pretty stupid. Whoa.
80 again.
Yeah. Sometimes it just. Sometimes roll 20 just gets stuck. I swear.
I'm gonna refresh just in case.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It gave
That
me
is
a bad batch.
very
I rolled
understandable.
below an 80 the entire game.
Okay, so
Roll 20 uses wall hacks.
it's using weighted dice clearly.
Every time. Every time.
So yeah, Thaddeus, you.
Yes.
The idea that has been kind of bubbling in your head is like mindless charging isn't just what the regiment does. I mean, they're good at it, but it needs to be focused mindless charging. And currently you have every now and then as a section of the trench gets cleared, like one or two of the Emperor's Breath will just charge in and start engaging the next trench. They either get shot down on the way, or they get swarmed and kind of taken down. It might be a good idea to wait a little bit, to gather up your waves, kind of keep orc heads down with fire and grenades, and then when you're ready, after a couple more waves have turned up, to just mass and charge. Or, other tactics, which you might want to come up with yourself, but, yeah.
It'd be kind of a combination of the two. Would Miles be able to see me at this point?
Yeah. You guys have basically stayed within visual range of each other to the extent of like every now and then you pop your head up like a gopher, like connect eyes, be like, and then like pop back down.
Okay, so I would signal to him to hold on. I would just do this. And then seeing as we do have that time, I would go back and I would start getting those canisters, and I'm going to get as many as I can and put them together for essentially like an air bomb to cause the canisters to explode. So that way we have our own air going into the trenches to kind of seep in when the next wave shows up. and it'll be the
Okay.
same thing. A kind of breach charge that reverses, that essentially draws in some of their air
Yeah.
into the canisters and then just causes them to explode.
The I'll say the explosion would disperse the air to the point where it wouldn't really be effective enough to it wouldn't hang around.
Okay. What about if I had it seep out then? If I had enough of them collectively in that pocket to just open up at once.
Yeah. That will require a tech use to hook it up, but yeah, that could work.
Yeah, so I would let the wave that's still there, taking some of the damage.
Yeah.
I would let them continue fighting the orcs, and with that, I would start getting ready with another type of charge that's going to just essentially cause all of the canisters to open up at once.
Okay. You're muted. Just FYI.
Sorry, I was going to ask, did you want me to do a roll to see how many I find for canisters or anything like that, so I can make those?
Would you like to call the other two back as well to help you out?
Yes, if I could, as many as we could gather in that short span of time, I would love to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm right next to him anyway, so I would probably. I mean, I'm pretty much following his. Even though I was charging ahead, I'm kind of looking for approval from Thaddeus.
Yeah, and also the initial charge was kind of and then it cleared out the area, and it was it wasn't calm. There's still explosions, there's still firing, combat going on, but this section of the trench was cleared by the explosions, so you can kind of take 5 fairly easily here at least. May need to return fire every now and then just to keep orc heads down, but
I would look over to Newball, and I just kind of see this wide grin form on him, or form on Thaddeus.
Gather our honor dead. I'm gonna send the enemy a bit of a kiss from the Emperor themselves.
And then you'll start seeing me pull off the actual guns from the last breath, and then that'll essentially be the mechanism for the canisters to shoot outward into all directions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll follow his lead.
Roll me a scrutiny, and seeing as you're taking a little bit of time over this, give yourselves a +10. And Charleston, would you like to head back with them, or if you'd like to do something else, there are a fair section of orcs just in the trenches past where you guys are.
Is that 20 total? Because it's 10 plus the buff and then 10 from what we're doing?
The buff is physical activity, so it's
just plus 10 anyway.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna make sure that the area of which we're in is probably the most taken care of. So I'm gonna keep moving around and make sure that no orcs make their way in. Okay.
Yeah. I think probably there's a couple of guardsmen with you as well. Are you kind of moving back to the initial first trench and guarding the hole as it were?
I'm probably gonna be guarding where Thaddeus is. If he's a demolitions expert, then he's gonna need as much time as he can to kind of rig everything up.
Okay, yeah. And orcs are famous for their enjoyment of counter charges and just charging anyway and etc. So what I'll say is this is you will not get enough canisters for what you want off those rolls unless you take enough time that it will allow an orc counterattack.
Does it normally take this long, Thaddeus?
Trying to find good pipes.
That's what she said. So fucking stupid. All right, anyway.
Kind of looking up, thinking knowing that there's going to be an orc counterattack.
An opportunity for more casualties is always welcome, though.
I mean, I can do my best. Looks like Charlie's up there.
Good. Looks like Charlie would want more men in the party anyway.
He's not wrong.
Just
So-
like there's explosions and gunfire, but that still just drifts across the battlefield like a ghostly voice.
If it's a comic book, like the speech bubbles, like the
Yeah,
wording
it's
is really
like drifting
small.
over from another panel.
But yeah, I'll surely welcome an orc counterattack if it means I get to take on more orcs with this chemical warfare.
Honestly, it's not a terrible idea to have them charge you because trenches are a bitch, and it's not your guys' forte. You do like the attack, but yeah, it's usually a bit more like, you know, no defenses, just army against army, and you shoot for a little bit, they shoot for a little bit, then everyone charges and hacks each other apart. So, Charleston,
Yes.
while your combat buddies are scrabbling around in the dirt, like, you know, oh, it's an arm, like, pick that up, put that over in the arm pile. Still haven't found a canister. You hear a very large "Whoog" coming from the other trench. As you look down this kind of little alleyway of trench, you see the orcs with their axes in the air, like screaming and hyping themselves up. A few of them have already like climbed over the trench and are running through no man's land towards you. This is an attack, a charge from a concentrated group of orcs. You do have some guardsmen with you who are going to join in your, you know, attempt to repel them and combat them. So,
Well, if they're gonna run at us, then I'm clearly gonna lob a grenade at their feet at least.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, roll me a ballistic skill. What's your strength bonus?
My strength is not impressive. I have simple 5, so 28.
Okay, so you'll have to wait till they're a little bit closer than you'd like, but if you'd like to take a minus, you can throw it a little bit further. So minus 10 would be a little bit of a further throw.
Oh no, we'll wait it. I'm not rolling so hot today. I don't want to give RNGesus any favors here.
Yeah, no, that is completely understandable. Charlie, the orcs are bearing down on you. You wait. They're still
Yep.
coming. Like, bullets kind of pock on the trench just above your head. You wait. There's no rush. And then you stand up, huck a grenade, throw it. Give me ballistic skill.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Come on, roll 20. Don't fuck me now.
Oh wait, is that good? Yes.
That's a
right?
crit success.
You,
Oh,
dude, and you're all alive.
hold on a second. I'm gonna refresh my roll 20 real quick.
I mean,
Perfect.
that's like a story in itself. The player who was getting screwed by the dice suddenly rolls a crit success right when it's really important. I think what happens here is just the battle rage. The red mist descends on Charleston. Let's take this narrative.
Sure, as I see them charging forward with their wargs or whatever their battle cry happens to be at this time, I'll limply throw this grenade, probably, I don't know, like 15 or so feet away, and just go boom and drop down.
Yeah, and the grenade just explodes, and like this really surprised orc head just lands like in your lap, looking like staring up at you like.
I've been with worse.
So, Charleston. Technically speaking, when really good rolls like this happen, I give players a fate point.
Okay.
Fate points allow you to re-roll your dice.
Nice.
What I will say here is, would you like to immediately spend this fate point to single-handedly stave off this attack?
Oh, of course I will. Of course I will.
Beautiful. It doesn't give you a reroll, but it allows us to do this. Charleston, your grenade explodes like this group of orcs coming over through the no man's land, but there are still orcs coming down this kind of narrow passageway of trench towards where Thaddeus and Cortez are rooting around trying to find canisters for this plan that Thaddeus has. You realize someone has to hold them up if Thaddeus's plan is going to work. There aren't that many troops. You feel this red mist of combat like descend upon you. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you almost feel unbeatable. You stand up, you heft your chain axe, you rev it. Would you like to charge in?
Of course I will.
Absolutely.
The question is that, of course I will. Charlie's going hard in the paint.
There is a singular line of orcs charging down towards you, possibly like 11 or 12 of them. The first one comes towards you. You stand there with this chain axe loose in your hand. And then I think as they're charging at you, you crouch down, pick up a second chain axe, rev that one as well. And the first orc, like, as it gets closer to you, like, leaps with its axe and is just coming down towards you. And you just, I think probably with double axes, just, like, slash it as it comes at you. And it splits into 4 and, like, flies past you in 4 pieces. Next orc comes towards you. Feel free to take over from me if you'd like to detail how you destroyed these orcs.
This is the only thing that I would say is probably happening. If this once in a lifetime red mist event is happening, I'm probably going like full out Breath of the Emperor battle cry, which is for Charlie is probably just like Ladle, 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 just going hard.
And I'll say this as well. As you keep going, this like you're taking in more air, which is probably going to be fine narrative.
Probably.
And like this mist like starts like oozing from the side of your mask and kind of out the front of it. And yeah, you've got this like noxious cloud like following you as you start marching down the trench. And every now and then you don't even like chain axe an orc. Like you backhand one, you know, this orc is coming at you. It's like 7 foot tall, 8 foot tall, like comes down at you and you just like bam, and like it goes flying out of the trench. It's possible someone put something in your air because you have the strength of 1.5 Charlies.
That's kind of Charlie that Charlie would like to sleep with, right there.
Oh yeah. What a man. And yeah, so you know, there's orc heads flying. Another orc comes round. You know, maybe he grabs you by the throat. Like tries to like break your mask, and you just bring your chain axe up like into the crotch, and then up to the waist, and then up to the chest, and then finally up through the head. Kind of falls apart in two. And you make a joke about having to split because, you know, we're in that action film currently.
Of course.
And then the last one's running at you, and you just heft with your dominant hand, I assume, right? But personally, I'm a lefty. You heft one of the axes, drop the other one momentarily, bring it up behind your head, and just throw it straight down this trench. And the last orc is like running down, like whoa. Maybe shooting his gun a couple of times, the bullets like zip past your head, but you're not bothered. And the axe just hits him square in the chest, like stops his charge. His legs go like flying up in front of him, and he just falls down dead. And then you calmly reach down, pick up your chain axe, heft it over your small figure, turn around, a little bit of a whistle, probably like whistle while you work, do.
Of course.
And start heading down the trench. Incidentally, guys, you've been watching this kind of as you're searching for these kind of things. Charlie pretty much solo. Like every now and then he'd have an orc kind of, you know, about to hit him and he'd get taken out by shotgun fire. But mostly solo. Charlie just decimated a line of charging orcs.
I'd say that gets me pretty pumped up and kind of like a la Mad Max Fury Road, instead of spray painting my mouth with silver paint or whatever the hell that stuff was, I kind of cranked the valve open a little bit on my air to give me a little more adrenaline.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
I'll stand up and see that and just look at him.
Charlie, going the extra mile. I like it. I like it.
Probably can't see much of his facial features just because it's just covered in blood.
Mostly green. To be honest, orcs have green blood, so you look a little bit like a Rambo film. You know, the camouflage just like smeared across.
Probably come over the radio off to Thaddeus. If I happen to die out here, on my gravestone, make sure it says, "Would you fuck me? I fuck me hard."
I'll say that and say you took 12 men at once.
What a hero.
You see him give him a nod and continues working on the canisters, seeing as we have now the time to finish up our project.
Charlie. Oh, I see what happened here. Okay.
He's like, you killed everybody, all 12,000 of them.
We won 40K, guys. Good job.
Yeah! The war's over. Let's go home. So, you are afforded through... I love it when my players roll that well. You are afforded through the critical success of Charleston Miles the time needed to gather up your canisters. And I will say this. There's no counterattack for a little while. Orcs don't often take pause, but when an entire squad of them are decimated by one crazy, slightly strange man, they're like, maybe we'll try another way for a little bit. Like, give him time to calm down. Maybe refresh his Roll20 again. Who knows?
They're like, wait, guys, we're not idiots. This wasn't a good idea.
I mean, technically speaking, it was a good idea, aside from the fact that Charlie went nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe war's not a good thing, guys. We can be thinkers now.
Just change the name of the system to only thinking.
Intellectuals and poets, the new path, 40K.
Perfect.
But yeah, seeing as he cleared the way, I will take the canister, knowing that the canister concoction that I've made, knowing that it's going to be some extra weight, I'm going to strap it to my back and temporarily connect the tubing to my oxygen mask.
Okay.
Or
Your breath mask. Yeah.
Yeah. But right now it's going to be on half output, so I can get that extra fix to just not feel the weight that I'm carrying with me right now.
Okay. Yeah. So, we all just had a little bit of an interesting time. What would you guys like to do next?
Push forward. Go up to Charlie and just give him a hard pat on the face. I'm like, yeah, good job, Charlie, good job.
Your pat on the face?
Yeah, your hand
that.
comes away with green kind of sticky blood from the orcs.
Cortez is like, I might be gay now, but only for you.
Oh man.
Only specifically for Charlie, it's strange.
What are these new feelings I'm feeling?
It's perfect. I don't even know if Charlie would respond there, just smile. Right through his mask. Just big teethy grin.
I'm gonna say specifically for Cortez, if you have to roll a willpower, just because of seeing that ridiculous display, you can take a +10 to basically willpower tests for a while.
Nice.
Rolling off that. Thaddeus, do you think you'd have seen this from Charlie once before, maybe in a previous war?
Yeah. I would I would say, even though we're a somewhat like newer regiment,
Yeah.
The fact that me and him have survived enough battles, I would say at some point I've seen him do this, and it's kind of like this is why people want to come here now. This is why people want to join our regiment. This is the will of the emperor right there.
Yeah. And like I was basically just going off Thaddeus's reaction to Charlie ripping apart an entire squad. But you know, I figured like he probably wouldn't take a willpower bonus to it just purely because he's seen it before. He knows what it's about. Like it's impressive, but it's not inspiring in the same way.
It's that was awesome. Now I gotta one up him.
Yeah. Now check out what I'm about to do.
Yeah. So yeah, well, seeing that, look at New Ball.
Next up is you, little man.
I'm
Don't
ready.
be afraid to impress us.
I'm not scared.
You see like Thaddeus turning around, kind of like trying to eye, like you see like his laser eye, like just going like following, just trying to follow and scan anywhere.
I need a target. I need more than one target. Come on, we're here. Come on.
And you just like you see him take a shotgun.
Okay. Is your intention to draw orcs into
as many as possible?
Okay.
And then you see my hand like just waiting on the valve. It's on the one that I made the trigger mechanism for, but it's still connected to me. So when it goes off, I'm gonna be like essentially enveloping myself in a toxic cloud.
Okay. The way I'm going to play this is a little bit different. Charlie, roll me in intimidation with +10.
Oh, baby. All right. Let's see. What do we have here?
If he is intimidating enough, the orcs will not come.
You better fail this skin. Your dice better be loaded. Yes.
I failed so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's likely that he would pop off a shot and scream and be like, wasn't ready. Call it out at least.
Give a
I'll
man
reload.
some warning before you shoot off like that.
Correct. Consent is important. I wasn't prepared.
Sometimes it just goes off. I don't know why.
You had to spit on it sometimes. Let's remember that. It's the golden rule.
Woke up. Better. Right? Yeah.
So yes, you inspire. I'm gonna say a mix of Charlie being a little bit skittish, and you drawing attention, and probably like inflaming them a small amount of this kind of like, hey, you're not so tough, come and get it. Leads to a larger orc charge down this trench.
Nice.
Probably like a good 50-60 of them kind of like form up on the other side. There's some exchanged fire, like you have some troops with you as well, and maybe a few grenades. Nothing too accurate, just purely because it's a fair distance away and neither of your guns are really set for that kind of range. And they kind of pump themselves up. There's some warg and some come on boys, let's get them. And then they start charging down. I'd say more of them come out over no man's land this time, just purely because their experience tells them charging one by one down a straight line doesn't work too well for them.
Seeing as they start making their way over, the moment we see like the first like solid wave, I'm gonna just take off my mask and then I'm gonna unleash the entire canisters with the exception of my actual tank.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up all the other ones that we gathered up and just have it just completely go off in that one pocket.
Okay. Yeah. No. This like. Roll me a tech use, I think, for this, just to see how, like, I'm not gonna say explosive because it's not exploding, but you know how quickly you've kind of set it to just jet out and spread.
No problem. Any modifiers added to this?
This is your gear, so so yeah, plus 20. Oof, that's a crit fail. Okay. The design of this canister, of these canisters, is not meant for extreme release. So it does spread out. It doesn't spread out as far as you'd like. It doesn't spread out kind of in time. You're going to have to use all of the gas canisters, all of the air canisters you've gathered up, and also your own, and possibly Cortez's and Charleston's as well, just to get the effect that you want.
Seeing that happen, knowing that we have like the first wave, I would probably have cut the thing then, and then toss a grenade into the middle of the canisters as we're falling back, knowing that the plan isn't gonna go as well as expected.
Okay. That is totally possible. What I will tell you is, if you all want to pull back, you can move to a different section of the trench. You will lose this part of the trench.
I'm fine with losing. I guess if we're falling back from the portion that we had just cleared out,
yeah,
I would probably do that. But same thing, I would wait once. I would cut it initially, seeing that the flow isn't anywhere near that I expected. Immediately cut it, and then just do this, and then tell them to like fall back, and then that's when I would chuck the grenade after.
Okay. Charleston, Charlie, Cortez, how do you react to this?
So Thaddeus is holding his ground. Is that right?
He's basically last man outing it, where he's gonna like throw a grenade in and then run himself.
Yeah, I'll probably, since I still have the grenade ready to go, I might just chuck it and run as well.
Okay. Yeah.
If it doesn't really look like it's gonna work out immediately, or if he has some kind of expression that would make me think, since this is our third run together, then I will probably also drop and run with mine as well, because I've still got a few of the frag grenades.
Okay. Well, let's go with this. There's a little rock outcropping by the trench that you guys have been occupied, that you guys have taken and occupied. The orcs are kind of charging in. They're fairly spread out, and they're fairly, jagged in their advance. So you can kind of catch the first wave of them, a good like 20 or so in this explosion. You stand there, you wait. A few shots like ping off nearby you, but they're not accurate, and they're kind of worked themselves up. They're not really looking to shoot, decently. At the last moment, all three of you like look at each other, pull the pins, chuck the grenades, and then like kind of kick off and move back away from the trench.
Knowing that there's about to be a large explosion, given what we're tossing in plus the canisters, you just see Thaddeus become completely like held in suspense. Like he wants to see this. Like he told him to back, but it's like when that happens, he stops. And, like he slowly turns around. Like his gas mask, he forgets to put it back on, and you just see him like grinning, waiting for the explosion to happen.
Is it likely that Thaddeus would stay too close to the explosion?
Once he knew what was about to happen, I don't know if I would say that would be hard to say. I don't think he would be. He wouldn't be close enough to where it's going to go off and hurt him. There might be a risk factor because he's going to be just in the opening of the trench, and then essentially where everything's piled up. Like he's waiting to see that, so he might be. I would say, yeah.
Should we roll a willpower and see if he can kind of keep a hold of himself enough to like not see this massive explosion that he's caused?
Yeah. Willpower is
take a plus 20 just purely for self-preservation instinct that everyone has. Well, most everyone. I'm not sure Charlie has it. Not when the red mist descends. Yeah,
32?
so
Yeah.
if you'd like, Thaddeus can kind of like he can calculate the blast distance based on like his previous calculations. So he can literally be like step, 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 you know, like stepping backwards, not willing to look away from the explosion for when it happens. He doesn't want to miss it. And then
it's like he wants to be close enough to like feel the blast wave, but like not so close that it's gonna like hurt him.
Not so close that he's gonna be like, you know, crushed lung or something because he was for the shockwave. So yeah, and I think again, you know, you have the moment of 3, 2, 1. Boom! And it's actually probably a little bit of an implosion first, you know, like you get the shockwave of the explosion before the flames like start just expanding, and it's not a mushroom cloud, but it does have like this billow of smoke and like kind of very strange like colors on the edge of the flames as well, and it's just this big like inferno explosion. And you hear like and probably see like some body parts flying around. Some of the orcs are like instantly vaporized.
You see Thaddeus, like as the smoke and stuff is heading towards him, this like odd color smoke is heading towards him. You just see him go, carbon, blood, stem all mixed in the perfect concoction. And then like you see him put his mask back on.
Yeah,
masterpiece.
There's like a rolling cloud of like smoke that comes this way, and you can see like Thaddeus like inhales it through his mouth, and it like sucks in, and then just as he breathes out, it just like spews out his nose like a dragon. It's just like, and then I assume you clip your mask back on.
Yeah, like as he kind of like as he gets that second inhale, you see him just do it slowly just to capture enough of the air, and then he looks back to the group and just gives a nod. We should back up a little bit more.
Yeah. Same
thing, shotgun at the ready. And I was gonna ask, are frag grenades timed, or are they proximity or anything like that?
I tend to say that they're either timed or impact. You can like mess with them a little bit to have them be timed or impact.
Okay. I'll set it to 30 seconds and then slap it to the side of the trench that I'm backing out of.
Okay. Question now, where would you guys like to head? Obviously this portion of the trench is going to be a rough retake if you want to. Like, there's more waves coming in, so you could probably rally some more troops and retake the trench, or you could, like, try your luck somewhere else down the trench and, like, hook up with another company, see how they're doing. You could even look for an officer, which there are some around somewhere.
Does having an officer with us give us any type of advantage?
If you would like to organize some form of attack or tactic, then yeah, because they could come on people.
I mean, if there's is there a way? You said there was like that kind of big rock. Is there any way that I can kind of crawl up on that big rock and just survey out to see if there's any weak points in the orc line?
It would open you up to basically being silhouetted, so you'd be an obvious target.
Yeah, quick look. Just
yeah?
a quick look. Or two.
You just standing behind the rock and like jumping up over the rock, like.
Boink, boink.
Comes out with his hands. He's like this, and he's just like, and just goes back.
Wait, do I have a helmet on?
Yes.
So I'll take my helmet off and put it on the end of my chain axe.
Oh,
yeah.
And kind of poke it up first, but like away from where my actual head's gonna poke up, you know?
Okay.
As like a little bit of a distractor.
Alright, give me a second. Yeah, immediately fire like peppers the rock you're behind. Hits the helmet, like ting 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 ting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not accurate fire, but there's a lot of it.
So I'll bring it back down and then maybe like peek around the side or something, like the opposite side of where the helmet came out.
Just kind of like that. Okay, that's an interesting one. I would say, roll me a. I will give this to you on either stealth or survival.
I'll take stealth. Yeah, I'll do stealth.
Yeah, stealth is agility, survival is perception.
Yeah, I mean they're both pretty equal stats for me. So,
Yeah.
Any type of modifier?
I'm going to say no. I would usually say yes because there's the element of surprise, but there's not so much surprise now that you put your helmet over the thing.
That's fine.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
1 point. All right.
You peek. You're like, what are you looking for?
Basically, so there's obviously just like this horde of orcs coming towards where we just were, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for either better cover or like a kind of a weak spot in their line. And if I happen to see like a officer or something, then that would be ideal. And then relay that to Charlie and Thaddeus.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me an awareness. With going off your stealth, it gives you a little extra time with a +10.
Okay. Oof.
Okay.
Okay. Well, and you're dead.
You see a orc kind of way back who looks heavily armored, bigger, stronger, meaner, tougher. Past a cut, he's standing actually in the no man's land, but it's a good 200, 250 feet backwards, in between the last line of trenches. And he's shouting orders and all this kind of thing. He's sending more boys up. Because of the failure, you don't see any sneaky way to get to him.
Sure. So I'll turn to Charleston and Thaddeus and say, I think I see one of their officers. He's just standing out in no man's land.
You just, this entire time you've been on the cusp of gags, and you just, that moment was 100% gags. You're like, hey guys, this is gags. Character I played with.
I'm trying not to.
I know, yeah.
I just want the puberty voice crack, that's it.
Yeah. So I need a very fast urination. If you guys want to do a little bit of tacticalizing, decide what you want to do next, go ahead. You're basically, there's explosions, there's firing, there's screaming. This has been going on this whole time, obviously. You're, crouched down behind this kind of rock outcrop, out of sight of the enemy, and you have a moment of, respite to plan what to do next and to decide what you want to do. And I'll be right back.
Cool. So, yeah, we lost the first trench to go up. So, I mean, we can try rounding back a bit to get to him.
Yeah, wasn't it like a T-junction or something?
Yeah, because that's what we fell back to now.
Okay. I mean, I have a feeling that we should be focusing on their big dude.
How far away is he, do we know?
200.
Yeah, 200, 250.
Yeah.
Feet or yards? Or
He
meters?
said feet, but,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty far away.
I got one crack grenade left and my weapon. So if I need to find more explosives, we either got to start killing people and picking up after them, or
I mean, I've got 2 crack grenades, 2 frag grenades. I mean, you being a demolitions guy, what's your ballistic score?
I got ballistics is 40.
Jesus Christ, I'm only 20. So I mean, if it comes to a point where we need to chuck a bunch of shit at him, I can certainly give you my explosives.
Yeah, I mean, I also have my shotgun, so I'm okay with that for now. I just don't know if we're going to be heading into any bunkers. But if we do, I can set up my last frag grenade as like a breach charge, and then we can try to do a clear out like that. But like you said, I think killing that guy first before we advance anywhere else is probably going to be a priority.
What do you think, Bob? Is that?
I don't have a problem with any of it. I'm just trying to look over what I have equipment-wise to see if anything's going to be super useful. And I'm down to a frag grenade and 2 crack grenades.
I mean, I have an instructional handbook. Is there anything in the handbook about how to kill an orc officer?
Yeah, it says orc officers are only vaguely smarter than their orc subordinates. They're very easy to kill. A quick shot with a las gun will probably do it.
Okay.
Don't worry about them too much.
Great.
I can tell you that the glance you got from that orc, it was terrifying. And
what's a
looked
charge
like
pack?
Charge pack is basically I may have put that on the wrong sheet, but it's basically it's like C4-ish. It's like a det pack.
Shit. Okay.
I got 6 of those. So
Same, actually.
Oh, I can make the greatest C4 explosion of all time.
So I guess we're gonna try to work our way through the trenches towards the large orc boy.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if my crack grenade would have been strong enough to close off that portion of the trench just before that opening.
The basically what the explosions have done is they've created a big enough trench in that area. It's not really a trench anymore.
Okay.
It's
so
just kind of like an open, slightly dented crater.
Okay. Cool.
So it's going to be hard for the orcs to hold if you want to like move on down the line, kind of thing.
I get you.
Yeah.
So we're back at that T junction. We're gonna essentially kind of back up a bit, and then I guess take like the left or right path that would be going towards that orc general potentially.
The left way would take you closer to the orc leader.
Then, yeah,
as it were.
We'll go with that one.
Okay.
Just to double check, what is the Frenzen?
Frenzen.
Frenzon?
Frenzon is a drug. You don't actually need Frenzon. I really shouldn't have given it to this regiment, because you guys already have Frenzy. It basically, by means of some form of like flagellation or drugs or whatever, you go into an uncontrolled rage. You get plus 10 bonus to weapon skill, strength, toughness, and willpower. But you get minus 20 to ballistic skill, intelligence, and fellowship.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So you guys have frenzy, so you can go into a frenzy whenever you like.
Nice.
You just gotta work yourselves up enough. Effectively, that's what happened to Charlie, except for on like an nth degree, like times by 50 or something.
All right. Okay. So I think the game plan is for us to head back to the T junction and go around the opposite direction that we were currently at.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, you can kind of drift back a bit away from the battle and like work your way parallel to the trenches for a while. For the most part, there's been a couple more waves come in, kind of in the general sense along the trenches. So the first line of trenches has been taken, and there are occasional waves of troops heading forward to go after the second trench. Incidentally, the orc leader that you saw kind of standing, shouting orders, he was in between the third and the fourth trench. So you'd have to go through the second trench and the third trench, and then be in between the third and fourth to get to him.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you like to attempt this? Are we thinking like a stealthy plan, or maybe like organizing a mass charge that you use to your advantage to like break through?
I like to think that it's less of an attempt and more of a success.
Yes. How are we attempting this success?
Well, so I didn't see any like of our officers or anything on my peak.
Yeah.
So maybe a stealthier approach might be all right. Unless, I mean, as we move, if we run into our own guys, I'm sure we can bring them along, right?
Yeah. You can kind of honestly, like, because of the state of your regiment, the ill discipline. No, sorry, it's not really ill discipline. The disorganized nature of your regiment. It is very possible for a regular trooper just to gather up troops as they go. So you know, Thaddeus and Charlie, for example, they're both veterans of a few campaigns in this regiment, so they are afforded some respect. They're probably to a certain extent a little bit known, especially Thaddeus, just purely because some of the people are a little bit scared of him. And also, actually, I think they're probably scared of Charlie too, after, if any of them have heard of his rages. So, yeah, you guys could probably gather up troops in your wake as you head to this new position. I will say intimidate or charm for both of you, and it would be a +10 for Thaddeus and a +20 for Charlie because of the earlier rage decimation of orcs.
Sure. Going with a charm.
Oh, it's just...
Charleston is known as well, but people don't kiss and tell.
So I'm doing a roll for... is this for me? No.
Intimidate or charm, and you get a +10.
Okay, let me choose.
Boom. Okay, so let's play this out, because it could be interesting. I think, Charlie, because you rolled charm, you were trying to kind of, you know, maybe you sidled up to one of the troopers on the way, and you're like, hey, how'd you like to come and kill some orcs with me? You know, a little bit of flirting. And as you tipped a wink, you had completely forgot that you were absolutely plastered in orc blood.
Yeah,
and you were like,
fitting.
it started to dry. It like half closed one of your eyes. You know, you look like you a beautiful man, but there's only so much beautiful till it's all covered in orc shit.
Sure, yeah, makes sense.
So you got a strange look, and the trooper was like, I don't know, you know, like, oh, let's be a bit more trooper-like. Sorry. I was so excited Bub was flirting with me for a second. The trooper's like, what are you talking about? We just gotta kill orcs. Just gotta shoot. Just gotta lob grenades. And then, Thaddeus, feel free to come in and beat the crap out of this man to intimidate everyone else to follow you.
So as that happens, you see Thaddeus grab the guy by his collar and like part of his tubing, and he pulls him close and looks to everyone else.
Y'all seem to be mistaken. We weren't asking you to come with us. We're telling you, get your weapons. We're gonna assault the leader.
And then like he pushes him back like into the mud.
And he like, falls on his ass, and he's like looking hurt, and everyone else immediately like snaps to attention. Immediately snaps to attention. They're like, sir, yes, sir. And you have an army now. Well, not an army. You have a good detachment of soldiers. You probably see a couple of corporals and sergeants with like the insignias of the regiment denoting that, who are also like, we don't know what we're doing, so we're gonna follow this guy because he does.
Perfect.
Looking back to Miles and Newball.
Looks like Miles is ahead with some style points on that massacre he did back there.
I follow him.
Still, my wiles are just not nearly enough.
Give it time and wash some of that green off of you and you'll be all right.
Are you guys?
I think it's good for the skin, though. I might leave it on a while.
Might make you stupid, though.
Oh, give me a canteen immediately.
We have a momentary scene from like maybe a Diet Coke advert where it's just like a canteen just dripped and starts sloshing. It's like wishing his hair back and forth, like, you know, rubbing his cheeks and this kind of thing. Distracts the troops momentarily, but once that's over, everyone's ready to go.
Ah, yes. Charlie, a.k.a. Cindy Crawford.
I mean, it could have been a Mentos. You know?
True enough.
Do-do-do-do-do-ah.
Oh, I love it.
If I can, I want to acquire some crack grenades and frag grenades from some of our new soldiers.
Sure, it will mean they won't have them when they assault, but you can get some.
I don't expect them to live long enough to use them.
Fair play. And very accurate.
How many would I acquire?
You can probably fill up what you had before. Any more and you'll start to lose space.
Okay.
As it is. I don't really do like weight or anything like that in a general
But
sense.
like practicality of what I'm
Yeah.
carrying. Yeah. Okay. So it would be. It was 3 grenades, 3 frags, and
I think
2
it was
cracks.
Frag
three.
and 2 crack.
Yeah, 3 frag, 2 cracks.
No.
For some reason, I've got how sweet it is to be loved by you in my head. I think it's Bob's fault, to be honest.
Charlie just has that effect on people.
Yeah.
Happens.
Chat's like giving me a little bit of shit. Listen, guys, I play the characters I'm given, okay?
Just he's got Peen Maximus and he's just slow pumping. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Oh god, so distracting.
All right. So I'm up 3 and 3 right now. I still had 1 frag grenade left, so we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted by Bob singing for a second there. So everyone is shirtless and oiled.
Surely we can win now.
Yeah, so let's say you have your grenades, you have your gear ready. You've gathered up like a good chunk of it. Basically be like I can't use the military lingo without it sounding sexual now. You have a penetration force ready to punch through the orcs.
I lead it.
So, what I will give you guys here is kind of like a narrative option of, is this like a, I'm not going to say a last ditch attempt, but is this like, you guys are basically the fist, and the troops with you are the boxing glove. I saw you. I wasn't going in that direction. I tried to keep it. God damn it, Spoot.
Oh, I can't help it. You brought attention to it. You Streisand affected your.
I did. I know. So you guys are the fist, and the orcs are the sphincter.
Oh, Charlie knows a thing or two.
That's right.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so basically you want to use the troops with you to punch a hole through the orcs and get you to the leader so you can take him out.
Correct.
Okay. There will be a few rolls on the way, which will be the equivalent of snapshots of the charge, where you may want to influence the charge in a certain way. Like, I'll allow you to use things like intimidate and charm to keep the troops going, to keep this charge happening. There's a possibility you may get shot at, you may need to dodge, you may take a hit. So we're gonna do this charge, and we're going for this orc leader. Keep in mind, orc leaders are quite strong, so it's gonna be a tough fight once you get there. But the payoff will be incredibly huge if you do this. Okay. Who would like to initiate the fisting?
Sign me up. Sign me up, Captain. This is my crowning moment right now.
Okay. The floor is yours. Charlie, take us away.
Is this a device, a machine? What am I looking at?
Oh, you're just kind of all charging in, trying to push through the lines of orcs to the leader. So you're pretty much like giving them a little bit of an inspirational speech and then sending them off for the charge.
Oh boy, an inspirational speech. Yikes. Things I wasn't expecting. Let's see. I'm actually gonna. You know what? I'm gonna pull Thaddeus up here with me so we can double team this.
Okay.
I pull Thaddeus up, the crazed one, especially the one that seems to have almost constant control over commanding them anyway.
Yeah.
Why don't you get it started? I'm a bit more of a second man in. Sloppy seconds, if you will.
Told you you're always the more charismatic one of the group.
I missed it.
I'm the hype man. It's fine. Let's go.
Whatever. And he looks to the group. Everyone listen up. I don't expect any of you to be making it back alive today. But our group, the Emperor's Will, stands for something.
Oh, I guess I can.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Breath.
Emperor's breath.
Emperor's breath.
Oh, Emperor's Breath stands for something. Because unlike kings and queens, an emperor does not rule land. He rules a world. And with that mighty breath, we will purge our enemies that stand before us.
Yeah. All right, man.
Now, if you wish, you can go now. You can walk the other way. But I can tell you, you'll find a bullet in the head if you do. So the choice is yours. Live like an emperor or die like the cowards before us. And he'll just like look slowly over to Miles. Go on and finish up if you want. And he kind of starts stepping down to get ready for the charge.
I'll look to everyone. Well, you heard the man. In preparation, you must lock and load. Gird up your loins and prepare. This may be your first time, and for some of you it will be your last. But hold true to those that matter, to the commander, to the God King Emperor, and with all else. And I'll follow it behind, because if you happen to fail, I'll pop a shot in your ass on my own. And you wouldn't want that. It can be messy. Meet Peen Maximus. It's great at that.
As Miles steps down, he just kind of looks at him.
Poetic as usual, I see.
As always, my body is ready.
So
Teach me your ways.
It's just random infantry. He has such a way with words.
I'm infatuated.
So there are times when I don't want to ruin a brilliant speech with rolls. I'm going to say this is effective enough to get everyone hyped up and ready to go.
Nice.
You hear like the clicking of ammunition, like shells being loaded into shotguns. I think probably a fair few of them, like, you know, hands go into their like breastplates and just finger the last breath. You know, preparation to die, preparation to take out as many enemies as possible as they go down. And I think you guys may be using that a fair amount on this charge. So, yeah, there's kind of a general organizing, and we'll run off that speech, kind of preparing everyone for the charge, where a large portion of the troops prepare to basically go over the top and run over no man's land into the next trench. Now, I'm going to take it as read that the plan isn't get to the trench, clear the trench. It's literally the second you hit that trench, you punch through any orcs directly in front of you and keep going. Maybe a few men left on the periphery just to hold off the orcs so that you have a line of retreat. Or would you like to leave no retreat, just everyone keep going?
Our mission was to secure the front, so we keep going.
Okay.
It's like the flying V formation from the Mighty Ducks. We're just gonna punch through.
Flying V!
Emilio!
That's right, Emilio!
As we start running, you hear just quack, quack.
Yeah, quack!
Someone goes, cool runnings. We're like, wrong movie.
Yeah. John Candy is not in this film.
We are the Emperor's bobsled team.
Just as long as you don't start counting in German, we'll be fine.
Eins? Oh, okay.
So, who would like to call the charge? Is it going to be a silent like hand gesture, or is there just like a?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably no longer additional words.
Okay.
I want to see who the how many people wide is this going to be? People going into the trench?
Going through the slip trench, or going like over?
Yeah, just like how many people do we have in the front that are going into the charge? Like how wide is it?
It's probably 2 people is the max you can fit side by side into the slip trench.
Seeing both walking up while it's getting quiet and people are lining up. I'm gonna walk up to the 2 that are at the very front, seeing as they're 2 of our youngest members. I'm just gonna look at them. You know what's gonna happen, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. And then he takes their valves and he like turns them up all the way.
And they inhale, exhale, and then like look at you. Like their eyes are slightly glazed now.
Yeah.
Shiny and chrome.
Give them a taste of their breath, the Emperor.
Why this guy's so strong?
And he kind of like pulls out their guns and hands them to him, and then he just walks back.
The last breath.
Yeah, he pulls those out for them and then hands it to him and tells them that he walks back, kind of like a standing point, like on top of corpses or boxes, whatever you have there. And you see him put his hand up. He just gets all quiet,
That dude in the back has, like,
puts his hand down, and has a charge start.
And I think actually this charge is silent. You know, like obviously there's gunfire and explosions happening around you, but the second that hand goes down, they will rise wordlessly. Like some of them jump over the top of the trench, start running. The 2 who were given the guns and were given the extra dose, a couple of others like move in front of them as basically like bullet shields so that they can get to their job, which is basically death by, you know, expending their air. And the charge happens, like they start moving forwards, there's bullets like pockmarking the ground. To question you guys, where would you like to be in this? Would you kind of like to be a few lines of people back, kind of following the charge?
Yeah, I was thinking we're kind of, or at least me, Cortez, would be kind of back in the meatier group of people, but you know, still pushing forward as hard as possible.
Yeah.
I'd probably be last one in since I called the charge.
Yeah, I'm gonna be aligning myself with Thaddeus so we can push anyone forward. Make sure that there's nobody that gives up at the last moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thaddeus, would you like to grab the wayward Cortez from the meat of the charge and have it back with you?
Same thing like when we were on the ship, and he starts heading in, grab him by the collar.
Grab him by the ear, like, come on!
You one
I
of
can
us
do
now,
it myself, Dad.
As I grab him back, I just kind of whisper in his ear, "You one of us. You vet. You survived the first attack.
Successfully
Stay in the
completed
back."
first
And he moves him over next to Miles.
Cortez reluctantly allows it to happen.
Cortez has been saved from death a couple of times by Thaddeus. He doesn't know it, but he totally has.
Yeah.
And actually Charlie as well. Damn.
Too bad I can't do this in our Wednesday game.
So, you will see this initial charge. Obviously, multiple soldiers are shot down. You know, some are just wounded. Some are straight up killed instantly. A couple of grenades are thrown, but because the charge is so energetic and so unexpected, the entirety of your charge moves past the grenades as they fly. You know, you're already at the trenches. The two men at the front, who were being the shields for the assigned last breath, they go down about 3/4 of the way. Just, they'd taken too many bullets, they'd taken hits, they were still kind of trying to push themselves, but eventually... Oh! Hey, Unmade Gaming! How you doing, buddy? Oh. Sorry, distracted. Hey, Mike! They take too many hits, and they finally go down. Like, their bodies are not trampled, but are stepped on by the following troops. There's a certain aspect of their sacrifice is appreciated, but practicality is still important. There's no point in going around troops who have fallen if it's quicker to go over them. Finally, the two troops of the last breath get to the end of the slip trench into the next second set of trenches, a little bit ahead of the rest of the charge. They both pull out these guns, aim back to back against the against like the left side and the right side, and open up like this spray, and this like just liquid is sprayed in both directions, and the tanks start to bubble down, and it just spreads out in this huge cone. And the orcs on both sides, you see them like, some of them like their muscles freeze, some of them like their faces go slack, some just instantly collapse. It takes everyone a little bit differently, because there is a big cocktail of drugs of narcotics in these air canisters that you inhale. It doesn't take anyone else except for people natively to the planet very well. And it kind of clears out this area for the charge to basically, instead of crashing into the orcs, taking them out and moving on as quickly as possible, it just opens up this hole, and the charge narrows down a bit, and a few of like the sides of the charge, people on the edges, they do get cut down as you go past, but you charge straight past this second line and towards the third. Everyone roll me let's say an awareness.
Straight up.
Straight up. Charlie, you notice to your right an attempt at shifting a few heavy guns on the fourth trench. Like there are heavy guns like over further to your right. You see them start like trying to pack them up, and basically they're going to try and move them to where their leader is, so they can cover their leader from the fourth trench.
How far away is the leader from this spot?
Just past the third trench. So you have probably, as you're running, and as you notice it, you have about 50 foot to the third trench, and then another 50 foot past the third trench.
All right. Since I'm the only one that's noticed this, and I'm in the back as they're starting to wheel their heavy weapon around, I will beeline. I'm gonna break away.
Okay.
Likely calling back to Thaddeus to draw his attention.
Yeah.
And as I go, I have my axe and my shotgun.
You do.
I'm hoping to just pop off one shot and go straight into using the axe.
Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I was gonna say I was gonna follow up behind. If the moment he like kind of pointed it out,
Yeah.
I would get my shotgun ready and then be behind him for covering fire.
Okay. Cortez, roll me another awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah, take a +10 this time.
Okay. Ooh.
You notice Charlie going off. He's heading on a beeline to cut off these, or to cut off something. You didn't get the heavy weapons. Yeah. You can follow him if you would like.
Well, I mean, if I see Charlie and Thaddeus going,
Thaddeus is covering. from what I
well, okay,
understand.
he's covering. So Thaddeus, you're not actually following Charlie then?
No, so once he gets a certain distance, I'm going to continue with the group so that way I can keep them assisted. Wouldn't make sense for the guy who gave him routes to disappear on them.
I'll start following Charlie then.
Okay. Charlie, the rest of the squad is just kind of crashing into this third trench as you divert slightly, kind of probably jump into the slip trench even and start running up there. There's 2 or 3 orcs like directly in front of you. Behind them is a continuation of the slip trench to the 4th one. If you can get into that next slip trench and keep going, you can actually cut off the heavy weapon team that's moving to set up.
Yeah. I'm doing it. It's happening.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a one shot and then a axe into glorious melee.
Yes.
Okay. If you go, we haven't actually had you roll like proper to hits and stuff as much in this one. If you go to your ranged weapons, you can see your combat shotgun. If you give me click on where it says hit, it will be a half aim. It will be short range. The fire will be standard. There you go.
One 3.
So, roll me a damage anyway, because it is a shotgun. It does scatter.
Yep. 15.
Okay.
Familiar?
Roll me the same roll to hit again.
You got it. Okay, I think I might have... Hold on, disregard that. Clicked on the wrong thing. Hit. Half. Point blank. Standard. Yeah, there we go. I got a 5.
Okay. So, when you are shooting with your gun or meleeing with your weapon, when you get a crit success, like you did with your damage, you get to roll again. At this range with a scatter weapon. So basically you get, like, you feel the Emperor's divine wrath filling you, and you take another shot, basically. It's, you attack again.
Oh, okay.
With a scatter weapon, in this close range, for every 2 degrees of success, you score an additional hit.
Oh,
which means
Lord.
you scored 3 hits. So roll me 3 damage dice.
You got it.
There you go. Okay. You blast 2 of the orcs, 1 on each side, which are blocking you from this charge. You like. I think effectively, you like charge at them, and they're all prepared to like receive your charge. They've got their axes, and you just stop like 5 feet away from them, 5 meters away from them, and just level your shotgun at one of them, blast him in the head, like his head just
Sure.
disappears and he crumples, and you turn, and then you like throw your gun to your left hand and like do the same thing on the other one. Where would you like to take it from here? Would you like to?
I'm gonna keep closing grounds and going with the Emperor's chainsaw.
Okay, so you let go of
Chain
your
axe, excuse me.
yeah. You like let go of your shotgun, and it's on like a strap, so it just kind of swings to your side. You heft your chain axe and you charge in at this next orc. So this is gonna be a to hit with your chain axe.
Okay, you got it.
It's going to be a charge, so it will be no aim, charge, no modifier.
All right.
Success. Okay,
Cool.
Roll me a damage.
You got it. 16.
With a crit success.
Okay.
So roll me another to hit with the same statistics.
It was no aim,
No aim, charge,
charge,
and no modifier.
no mods. 91.
Oof. But doesn't really matter. Okay, so the orc is standing there, ready to receive your charge. How'd you kill it?
So, a chain axe is essentially, I'm looking at like thematically, it's a chainsaw blade over
An axe, yeah.
an axe.
An axe blade.
Gotcha.
Got a little trigger that you pull, and it goes.
Sure. I imagine if I'm just popping off the shot and clearing the ground, I'm probably just going to go overhand, bring it down, just over the top. So connecting like chest area or as
Just
high as I can, since
top
they're
of the
much
head,
taller
maybe.
than me. Yeah, I'm going up as far as I possibly can. Efficiency's sake.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, you just kind of. I think you just plant it like directly in his chest without even initiating the chain, and then once it's in his chest, you just pull down the trigger, and the chain just, and you just like push it even as you're still running. You just push it into like further into his chest, actually taking him with you for a little bit and like messing up his insides. Cortez, you're following along.
Yeah. How far away is the heavy artillery?
The heavy weapons team. Think of it more of like MGs, like machine gun type
they're
weapons.
just guys carrying guns. Okay.
Yeah.
How far away are they?
So they're another like, let's say 100 foot, 100 meters. You know, my
Okay.
measurements are terrible.
That's still pretty far.
Yeah, but they're down an empty trench. Because a lot of the orcs have been pulled up as reinforcements to reinforce the next trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the back line are support weapons, like these gun emplacements.
Right. So are there any orcs within my shotgun range then?
Not currently, actually. There were 3 in the way of this
Right.
Charlie charge, which is what I'm going to call it. However, Charlie kind of took them all out by himself.
Yeah, what I'll do then is I'm gonna charge until I'm in range of the heavy weapon boys and throw a frag. in there.
Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of using Charlie as a snowplow at this point, because Charlie charges through these orcs, takes one of them with him with his chain axe, and it kind of like shifts off to the side and falls. and you both keep running to the point where you're like almost at the last trench, this fourth trench. And then you like, I assume you want to give Charlie a warning because he's just charging.
Yeah, well, I'll just, I'm going to try to clear him out with a grenade. And chuck one in there. What was it again? Ballistic? Is that what I have to do? Or?
Ballistic.
Okay.
Charlie, I assume you take a beat and don't carry on charging into the heavy weapon team?
If I can get up and move, then I will. But if this guy's still kicking, even with me driving my chain axe into him, then...
Oh, no. So, like, yeah, you kind of shook him off your chain axe and kept charging towards this fourth trench. So, like, the heavy weapons team is probably, like, a charge away. So, like a quick 5-second just headlong charge. But Cortez is chucking a grenade in, like, at them, basically.
Right, and it was no modifier on this, right? Straight.
Oh, Charlie, sorry. Take a fate point. Just purely
Cool,
because of those crit damage rolls were really good.
Thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah, sorry, Cortez.
Yeah, it was no modifier, or...
Yeah, no modifier.
Okay. Shit. Okay.
Roll me a d8.
Alright.
Okay. Roll me a damage.
Okay. Where is it? There it is. 10.
All right. Yeah. I think probably because of the like headlong charge that you've been doing, the grenade actually like drifts behind them a little bit. When it explodes, it catches the back of them very slightly. Not enough really to take any of them out. There's like a team of like 3 or 4 of them carrying this heavy like gun emplacement. But yeah, the blast radius doesn't really catch them too much. So let's shift.
Yeah.
Over to Thaddeus. Thaddeus.
Yes.
I don't have any like tools.
Your charge has hit the third line. We're moving slightly back in time from probably around about the same time Charlie's pushing through. It does hit this line of orcs, and this is kind of the last proper line of defense of the orcs. Would you like to effectively, like, punch a very small hole with a select... kind of like, would you like to have a few men with you to punch a hole through very specifically for you and maybe a couple of others to push through this line to the orc leader? Or would you like to kind of just have the lines hit, melee, and then kind of see how many people can get through?
It would probably be have them fight through as they start coming out, and then whoever I have left, I'm gonna I'll utilize that force in any way that I can.
Okay. So effectively, what this will probably do is give Cortez and Charlie the time to take out the heavy weapons platform and then head back towards the leader. You'll probably hit them at about the same time. It will
Correct.
mean...
If they're going to use the guns for them, then that just gives us more stopping power.
Orc weapons are a little too difficult to use. They have a tendency to blow up when orcs don't use them. It's a whole lore thing whereby because orcs believe something, it works. If someone else tries to use it,
Just junks out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no problem.
But
so yeah, I would wait for them to stop the orcs support light infantry coming in.
So I'm not
Yeah.
sure
And
what's
once they
fine.
finish
Like,
up,
nothing
we'll
short
then
about
make we'll concentrate the force to go attack the leader.
Okay. So I think seeing we've gone a little bit over time, apologies for that, guys.
all right.
Let's close out on a scene of Charlie. I assume you would like to charge the heavy gun team with your axe?
Yes.
Cortez, would you like to join him?
Oh, yes.
Both soldiers draw their chain... Well, Charlie already had his chain axe, but both soldiers have their chain axes. Are you kind of double-handing it at this point, I'm assuming?
Oh, it's big enough to double hand.
It is indeed. Thank you very much. Charge in towards this heavy weapon team. At the same time, you see Thaddeus probably throwing a grenade just over to a group of orcs. They get blasted apart. Kind of turns around, looks over the battlefield, sees some of his troops falling. Like, this has turned into a pretty bloody melee. Thaddeus, would you like to sling out that chain axe and jump in, or would you like to take more of a kind of ballistic backseat?
Ballistic backseat. Seeing that there's some battle going on, I would actually pull out the charge pack,
Okay.
and I would just lob it into the largest, same thing like I did before, into the largest group.
Okay.
Where I would say more of our guys are dead at, to have
Yeah.
that same effect of explosion from the canisters.
So
Trying to daisy chain the effects.
what you could do is you could hold back and wait to see if there's any sections where your troops are getting properly overwhelmed in this melee, and then throw your charge back. Okay.
I would say if it's in a sense of like rounds, I would
Yeah.
probably toss out 1 or 2 charge packs in front of me, and I'll just have like the detonator switch at the ready, and then I would start doing the same thing once I start seeing those come out, and I would use up all 6.
Okay.
But have, I guess, I don't know if it would be like a single switch or if there's one that has multiple to have them each tagged, but I would have it something similar to that.
Okay. Roll me a tech use for setting these charges.
And this is flat tech, correct?
Okay. I think that's a good moment to end on. So, we have Cortez and Charlie charging in with their chain axes. We have Thaddeus, like, he's been looking over the battlefield. He sees a portion of the battlefield where there is a significant section of orcs in melee, and they're starting to get the upper hand. More and more troopers go down. Thaddeus is like, okay, crouches down, starts setting his det pack, his charge pack to go off, and his hand slips. And the usual 3, 2, 1 starts on a 2. And we'll come back next episode and find out exactly how that goes.
All right.
Banger.
Can see in that moment when Charlie and Cortez are running, Charlie's battle cry is shifted to, "It's ribbed for my pleasure!"
So yes, thank you all 3 of you for coming out and playing this. Especially
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you
Definitely.
because you're all new to 40k, I believe, and especially to the system. So
Everybody knows so much more about this game than I do.
Yeah,
it's
that's
amazing, isn't it?
It's a little daunting, to be honest, because people out of nowhere that knows like literally little about everything, like, oh yeah, Pikachu's a cool Pokemon, and like D&D's neat, and
Yeah.
then when it comes up to 40k, they just start speaking in Latin. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what the fuck? Where did this come from?
I only took this in high school.
Yeah. Freshman year.
It was like an optional extra for some just some points. Yeah. So
We're probably not gonna live through this I mean,
No.
you gave us a breathing, like we literally have to breathe from a bucket. I don't see us
Yeah.
living through this
I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
far, but all of our successes came at the cost of killing our own men.
Truth.
Yeah.
welcome
That's
to the
war.
Imperial Guard. That's basically what the Imperial Guard is. One of my favorite sayings for the Imperial Guard is if the enemy have 1,000 bullets, send 1,001 men. That gives you
That's
an
way
idea.
more than that.
Yeah, that gives you an idea of the mentality of the Imperial Guards. So this is, I mean, technically speaking, over all 3 squads, you guys are the most Imperial Guard so far.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. I mean,
I understand what that means.
Same, actually. I was just trying to think tactically in a way that meant my survival at least long enough so that I could succeed in the mission.
yeah.
Right.
And, you know, we had some wonderful moments of, I like to get narrative, honestly, with these sessions, because, you know, if I have you guys roll, like, all the intricate combat with how this is set up, you know, you would still be in the first trench, like in the first set of Melee. So, yeah. And it's also nice to have these, like, scenes where you don't have to worry about rolls. You know, you rolled a crit success, you got a 1, you get to rip apart some orcs with a couple of chain axes. Like, why not? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you got the big bad boss guy in front of you. Probably you're all going to face him at the same time, and it's like he has an advantage of about 75 to 25. So
This is where we mount the heavy machine guns ourselves and just try to gun him down.
I mean, they are orc machine guns, and one of the things about orcs is their weapons don't work for other people. Well, their weapons do work for other people, but you'll get a massive minus, and if you fail, they'll explode.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Orcs kind of exist off belief. They paint they have like this psychic connection whereby the more orcs that are around that believe something, the more likely it is to happen. So
What?
Yeah, orcs are so cool.
Oh yeah, someone was in chat was saying like they can will some kind of ship just to appear or some shit, something like that.
Yeah,
What is this psionics bullshit?
This is the thing, is they paint all of their vehicles red because red makes it faster, and because they believe it makes it faster, it actually makes them faster.
Nice.
So is that why, like, in like all the games, you see like these like giant balls of junk just form out of nowhere to make like bases and stuff? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. They one of their primary mode of invading a planet is finding a giant asteroid, strapping rockets to it, and pointing it at a planet. That's how this planet was invaded. They crashed asteroids into it while in the asteroids.
Effective.
Wow.
40k is awesome, guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's fucking
Yeah.
bizarre, at least. I may just defer to you when it comes to running this because
Yeah,
clean up on aisle fucking 4 over here.
This is the thing, is I've run a lot of 40k now. Very often for people who aren't familiar with the lore or the systems, I take everything with a grain of salt at the end of the day.
Cool.
Like, if you do something that isn't exactly lore appropriate, I don't care. It's still cool, it's still funny, it's still entertaining. And the majority of people who watch this, they're not looking for a story and campaign where it's like exactly gritty, you know, etc., etc. It's about the setting and having fun in the setting and being a trooper or, you know, a badass combatant, etc. And eventually I'm gonna kill one of the players. I swear to fucking God. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna kill you guys next week, maybe.
Don't worry, next Thursday it's gonna happen. I have no doubt in my mind.
Mate, I have rolled perfectly to let the players survive through these past like 5 episodes.
I had five quality rolls. The rest
Yeah.
were such legendary failures. I had at least
But
8 rolls above 80.
The quality rolls basically meant that you didn't have to survive an orc attack. which
Yeah,
which are
true.
very strong. That crit one, like if you hadn't have got the crit one, you'd have had to face off against all of these orcs attacking. Very, very deadly situation. But you know, you have to go with the way the dice go, and bugger is all I can say.
It feels bizarre. I'm not really sure how I feel about the dice system. It just feels a little bizarre so far. I like that I can click a button because you did it all for us.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the math and I'm like, how the hell?
Doesn't make sense.
That isn't math right. All right. Well, at least he knows what it means.
Yeah. I've done so many of these at this point. It's like I see the minus 1.4. I'm like, okay, I know how this works, and yeah.
Cool.
So,
stuff.
would anyone like to pimp anything out? Bob, I believe you have an RP show that you run.
A couple of those.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, if you guys have not immediately followed Sheepy here, do just that. Follow Sheepus. This is fun. It's a lot of fun, and I don't get to do it that often, so you'll definitely see me here next week. And I bet I can convince Sheepy that if there's a way that you could sub up in ways of like Twitch or Twitch Prime, we could probably get some favorable fate points, at least for one of us. Who knew? Who knows?
I am not affiliated, so there's no way to sub.
Well, then throw money at his face. Okay? I bet that he's not afraid of bribes, all right? But in realness, this was fun. It was a lot of fun. I had a really good time. If you guys want to find me pretty much 4 or 5 times out of the week, you can find me over at twitch.tv/thebubbernaut. Search on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and, well, like everywhere at this point. I just now got an Instagram as well because...
Why not?
Yeah, why not? That's exactly why. And, yeah, do the thing.
You'll also often find me over at Bubbernaut in the chat when I can't sleep, because I enjoy sitting in Bub's chat and just not sleeping.
He definitely sends some of the best music through. We've got very similar music tastes.
Give me some of that 90s R&B, a little bit of soul.
That's the good stuff.
The Boy Is Mine, What a Man.
What a man, I'm not even gonna do it. Next
I
song.
can't take you singing. I can't take it, man. It's been too sexual today. Spoot, anything you want to talk about, or you know?
Yeah, I just want to say I don't think it was sexual enough today. So next week we'll do better.
Okay.
I apologize wholeheartedly for that. And I have nothing to pimp because I have to retool my entire channel. So, I think everyone should follow Sheepy. I've known him for quite some time now. I'm glad that he thought of me for this. So thanks for that.
Of course I did.
And I also I'm on another show on Wednesday nights. On what is Arthur's channel name?
AP.
AP Gaming Reel.
There you go.
Thank
You got
you.
it without help.
That's a 5e D&D game.
Nice.
Which is quite fun, and it's a really interesting concept as well, much like this game here. And yeah, that's about it. Follow all these people. Do it.
And just to preface we've known each other for a while, I greased him up and slid him through some prison bars.
That is true. That is true.
Wow.
That's a true story.
Many times. Yep. My character's name back then was Gags.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Well,
you
it was
meant
actually
real life.
really long. He had like 5 names or some, stupid gnome bullshit, But
And
yeah, everywhere I played Gags 4 years ago.
that was a while ago. I think it may have been 3.
Maybe 3. That character has followed every fucking show I'm on, and someone sees me on it, without fail, someone in the chat is like, Gags! So.
And the voice was so similar to Cortez's voice.
It was pretty similar.
It was drifting towards a couple of times, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
Gags was a little more high pitched, grease me up! That kind of thing.
Oh, I got flashbacks.
Yeah.
I'm ready to slide in. Grease me up.
Throw me into the pit! Yeah, that kind of shit, so.
Perfect.
Anyway. Thanks, guys.
Yes. And Zannder, anything you'd like to talk about, pimp?
Once again, guys, my name is Zannder Darks. I am a member of Bubbernaut's Wednesday
Harem.
game.
Harem.
Ended right there.
Yes, harem.
No, it's not.
And so,
part of Bubbernaut's Wednesday game, the Shackled City. If you guys want to see me there, I will be there. We start at 8 o'clock.
8 Eastern.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, or specific time, whatever you want to call it.
8 Eastern. We just wrapped up episode 162. That's almost
Yep.
4 or 5, almost 5 years live play.
Wow.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
there was an invasion. We had a vampire invasion. 900 vampiric goblins being
Slain.
led by hags into the town. They lost almost 50% of the population of the town.
so push the
Did you
But we
also
came
do
out on top.
mass combat?
Yeah.
Yes, I did run mass combat, and it was there's not a really good way to run mass combat.
It's tough on the brain, isn't it? You're like,
It's hard.
no matter how much you describe, you always feel like you need to describe more.
Yes, and give people more actions, but eventually you can cycle through it enough.
Yeah, you just got to streamline it to the point where there's enough roles to simulate the actions that people are taking, and then
Yep.
every now and then you take a little snapshot of the battle and everything. Yeah.
And well, I mean, I know that I've got my audience here.
Yeah.
JP,
Like, comment, and
tell us.
subscribe to my Instagram.
Oh,
I don't have
Make
one.
sure to just shill yourself here, man.
hello, I'm Sheepdog. I run a YouTube channel, and then I used to stream, but I've been so busy GMing 4 shows of 40k a week from Tuesdays to Fridays that I don't have time to put much up on my YouTube channel aside from this. So if you like this, go follow my YouTube. Subscribe to me. Whatever you do to YouTube at this point, just do it. I'm Sheepdog Gaming on YouTube. I am going to start having viewers in to play squads in this long campaign and invasion. It's starting off with my Patreons. I've got a list of people who are coming in, but if you are interested, the buy-in is $20 per person for 2 sessions. If you have a group of people you'd like to play this as, you want me to GM you, yeah, you can do that. Message me on Discord. We'll have a chat about it and everything. And you can check out my Discord for details on how to do that. Aside from that, we're almost through the invasion, guys. We're gonna start getting into the meat of things and the other regiments. So feel free to come back and see how the campaign progresses. Also, the other thing is we will be having another commander video, which is the commanders of all these regiments will sit down, see how the campaign's been progressing, and tell me how they'd like it to keep going. I have no control over what, so for those of you, for you three, basically, and the new people who came with Bubs and everyone, I have no control over the campaign. The commanders, Brad Woto, Vandy, Peach Pixelate, they choose what their regiments do, and the tactics they use, and the equipment they take. You guys are all part of Metamancer's regiment. She decided what you guys were going to do, the fact that you're going to be part of the invasion, and where your regiment is going afterwards. So I just play it out as I'm told, and I do every few months we're gonna do commander videos where they look over this situation that you guys are in will be reported. If you survive, you may get promoted or get medals as characters, etc., etc. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyway,
I dig it.
yeah, trying to make it interesting, a little bit different. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Fuck, I'm really bad at streaming. I should raid someone or something, I guess. Everyone watching YouTube, we're leaving. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. No, it's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you later. Bye!